What's up, Daisy Dukes? Hi, Tina. You are first. Hi, Tina. How are you? See something. Yeah, it does. Okay. Hi, Andy. Good afternoon, Andy. Good morning, Tina. Hi, guys. Welcome, everybody. Look at the clouds, you guys. Look at that weird looking clouds. Oh, I still got to get that great blue heron. Oh, my goodness, I keep forgetting. Hi, everybody. All right, what are you doing now, lady? I don't have anything. Hi. Come. Oh, you're so cute. I love you. It's a rabbit cloud. Yeah. Hi, Lisa. Lisa smiles a lot. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, Lisa. Hi, Mint Chocolate Chip. Hey, Richard. Oh, you shared. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Mint says, good morning, Tina. Tina says, those are storm clouds. We had some rain this morning. It did rain this morning. That's why we didn't go to the beach. Hi. Hello. Hello. Afternoon, Andy. How are you? Says Richard. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. How is everybody? How are you all? It's Wednesday, you guys. June 25th. 6 months till Christmas. Have you bought any Christmas presents yet? Andy says, hey, Mint. Good, my friend. Hi, Daisy. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. She's so cute, you guys. Hi, Stacy. Hello, Brylon Farm. Everybody say hello to Brylon Farm. Still got the tree up. That way you don't have to take it down and put it up. That's a good idea. Lisa says, I'm still trying to wake up. Me too. I was up very late last night. Richard says, hi to Brylon Farm Stacy. Andy says, I'm joking. Some people do keep it up. Most times they'll they put it in the garage. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Oh, good, Richard. I'm so glad. We're doing good. We're a little tired. I stayed up way too late last night. Way too late. But it's all good. See our tree? Do star jumps? Lisa, you want to jump around? What's a star jump, Andy? Min says the colors look beautiful in the clouds. They do, don't they? Don't the clouds look beautiful? Let me move back just a little. Trying to get the screening in there. I know it. Aren't they beautiful? And the colors. I mean, seriously, the colors. Jumping jack. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a jumping jack. Hi, Devin. Devin saying hello from work. Hey, Devin, how's it going? Min says, I heard if you walk into a door that wakes you up also. I don't recommend walking into a door. But it is, I'm sure it'll wake you up. Min says, good morning to Devin. Brylon Farm, how are ya? I keep telling everybody, go watch my friend Brylon Farm. Go pay her a visit. Throw her some likes and some love, okay, guys? Clouds are dark. Not too bad. They're not super dark. Is that what you call them? A jumping jack? Yeah, jumping jacks. Wow, I haven't done a jumping jack in 20 years. But Stacy says she's very well. Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, now that Stacy has her subs, we are gonna get her hours. We're gonna push Stacy out there to get her hours. And close to 700. Okay, we're gonna keep doing it. Everybody's gonna tune into Brylon Farm, watch her streams, run. Stacy, do you have a playlist up? Are you outside? Oh, are you the U.S.? No, he's in. No, he's in Manchester. 20 years. Well, you owe us 10. Brylon Farm. Oh, she says she appreciates you guys, and so do I. Handmade Homegrown's here. Hi, Handmade Homegrown. She says, good morning, Kelly and everyone. Hello, Handmade. How are ya? Brylon says, Mike the Bike Dasher made it also. Yes, Mike made it. Mike made it. And, you know, we're just going to keep helping everybody who wants the help. We're all going to help everybody who wants the help. Andy says, I'm in the UK. Lisa says, good morning, everyone. Oh, if I want to walk into a wall, I'd definitely be awake. Oh, if you walk into a door, I'll definitely be awake, right, Lisa? For sure. You have tons of playlists? Oh, good. Everybody, tune in to Brylon Farm's playlist. And I will start playing you, too. Your playlist. I'm playing playlists at night, everybody, when I go to sleep. Last night, I played Anne's Place until I got up this morning. It's helping as far as the data. I'm using too much Wi-Fi or something. I don't know. Everybody tune into Brylon Farms and play her playlist for her. Dogs, pigs, ducks, and garden. Oh, I always just watch your lives. I have to go over there too. Hello there, Crafty. Tina says, last time we almost heard thunder. You really got it going. Andy says, no, Richards, Manchester. I'm Yorkshire. I'm sorry, Andy. Yep. Andy's in North Yorkshire. Yes, I know that. Sorry, Andy. Richards, Manchester. Yes, I'm so sorry. John 123 Canada said, hi. Hi, John. 123 Canada. Where in Canada are you? I'm very familiar with a little bit of Ontario. Torpedo Heat. Hey, Torpedo Heat. Guess what, buddy? I ate your tacos. I made you 2 tacos and then I ate them. Torpedo Heat. Welcome, Torpedo Heat. Richard says, yeah, I'm originally from Yorkshire, Andy, though. We have 2 Yorkshire boys. Torpedo Heat says, hi, Brylon Farm. Stacy says, you can't spell. John from Canada's using the emojis. Thank you, John. Where in Canada are you? Torpedo Heat says, hi, Lisa. Mint says, hey, Torpedo. Torpedo says, hi, Andy and Mint. Brylon Farm says, star jumps make more sense than jumping jacks now that I think about it, Andy. What's a star jump? Rigby's here. Rigby Collie Soy Pug. Hi, Rigby Collie. Mint says, hi, John. Good morning. Andy says, hi, Torpedo. So does Lisa. Mint Chocolate Chip House says, good morning to Rigby. Tina says, oh, wow. Brylon Farm, that sounds fancy, Andy. Fancy. Tina says, fancy. Homegrown says, hi to Stacy. Brylon says, hello, Torpedo. John says, I'm calling Mom next. See you next time. Thank you. Hey, John, thanks for being here. Thank you so much for stopping in, John. 123 Canada 42. Nice to meet ya. Tina says, Robin, look out. Look out. What's going on? Torpedo, he says, shame on you. Yep, I made you 2 tacos and then I ate them and they were good. Rigby Collie says, good morning, Richard. And he says, good morning to Handmade. And he says, yes, right past me. Mint says, LOL, Andy. Brian says, a smiley face. Handmaid says, hello, Mint. Mint says, you can't wake up if you don't sleep. True, but you have to sleep. Tina says, storms will be slow moving. Whoa, how could you? Brian says, Tina, sub to your new channel. Monkey Run. Hi, Monkey Run. Hi, Daisy. Hi, Monkey Run. Welcome back. Mint says, Star Jump is a jumping jack. Okay. Tina says, thank you so much. Stacy Torpedo, it says, not even a picture. I didn't even think to take a picture. I did not even think to take a picture. Sorry about that. Mint Chocolate Chips says, hi, Monkey Run. Welcome. Welcome to tea time, everybody. You want to see the cutest little girl in the world? What are you doing? Look at Mama. What? What are you doing? I love you. I love you. You got that cute little face. Say bye to everybody. There's the little Daisy May. Tasty Peanut's here. Hi, Tasty Peanut. Welcome, welcome. Everybody say hi to Tasty Peanut. Tasty Peanut. Brian Farms says a picture would have been worse. Torture. Than just telling how good they were. Stacy. Mint says, hello, good morning, Tasty Peanut. Brian says, oh, so cute. She's always chill. Thank you, guys. She's so sweet, isn't she? Yeah, that's Daisy, everybody. Daisy. Daisy, Daisy, Daisy. What are you doing? Hi, Zed's Place. Hi, Zed. Stacy says, hello, Tasty Peanut. Hey, Zed, how are ya? Good morning. Everybody say hi to Zed. Did you get any sleep, buddy? I was up way too late. Did you make your beef Wellington? Man says, good morning, Zed's Place. Andy says, I was told my dog was so good looking. They do say they take after their owners, just saying. Right on, Andy. Right on. Brylan Farm says, hello to Zed. You want to get up there? I had to put Daisy up on the couch. Lucia's here. Hi, Lucia. She says hello. Says that I tried to sleep, didn't happen, neither did the Wellington. Oh, okay. Nope, that's okay. You didn't sleep though at all? Are you tired? Lucia said hi. Hi, Lucia. Brylan Farms says, welcome, Lucia. Brylan Farms says, thanks for joining us today. Yes, Lucia, thank you for stopping in and seeing us. Welcome. Ted says, what's up, Chip and Brylan? Min says, Andy, someone had me complicated yesterday. I looked and sounded like their ex, but I'm a better person. Oh. Sorry, Richard. I didn't know you were gonna retract. Message retracted. So guess what, guys? 6 months from today is Christmas. Also, here's the tea. All right? Enjoy. Whatever you have, coffee, tea, water, protein shake, energy drink, enjoy. And good morning. Nobody really's here. Nobody really. Nobody really. Burko's Fishing Adventures said hi. Hi, Burko's Fishing Adventures. Welcome in. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello to us. Nobody really's here. Nobody really, who's really somebody. Hey, nobody really, how are ya? Thanks for using that emoji. That's the new one. I think I screwed up with that one. Brian Farm says, wow, what? The year's, yes, 6 months, you guys. It's June 25th. Can you believe it? Torpedo Heat says, Brian Farm, how'd you become a mod on your channel? Brian Farm says, welcome, Burkos. Lisa says, hi, Lucia. Brian Farm says, show up. Torpedo Heat says, grape juice. Grape juice. Burkos Fishing Adventures says, Brian, hi. Rigby says, new emoji. Yes, new emoji. Yep. Mint Chocolate Chip House says, I was going to retype it because of typos. Don't even worry about it. Bill, your bagel's here. I have my pillow. Nice. Hold on, guys. That's kind of a loud plane. Bill, your bago has its pillow. Awesome. I had my pillow way too late this morning. That says I went to bed around 2:30, almost asleep. Then my left calf smells, leg cramps. Sorry to hear that, buddy. Torpedo hits the brilliant. I do show up, but chat was quiet. Troll Slayer says, good morning, Daisy. Hi, Troll Slayer. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Mint says, hey, nobody really. Lucia says, where's the dog? You want to see her? I'll show you. There she is. Did you see her, Lucy? I hope you got to see her. Troll Slayer said hi. Hi, Troll Slayer. Good morning. Brylan Farm says, leave a comment over there, Torpedo, and I could do it then. Oh, thank you, Stacy. Yeah, he's a good one. Lisa says, Burko's Fishing Hi. Mint says, hi, Burko's Fishing Adventures. Nobody really says we. Hey, nobody really. Mint says, hello, Lucia. Torpedo hates his Brylan Farm. I will do that. Nobody really says, hey, Mint, hello. Mint says, good morning, troll. Lisa says, beautiful. I'm using my emoji, my new one. Thank you, Lisa. Maddie's Nifty Creations is here. Hi, Maddie. She says, hi, Daisy. Good morning. Good morning, Maddie. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Troll Slayer says, good morning to Mint. Burko's Fishing says, hi, Lisa. Maddie says, hi, Lisa. And hi, Torpedo. Maddie says, hi, Mint. Nobody really says, off to work. Off to work. Well, you have a good day at work. Nobody really. Thanks for stopping in and sharing your morning with me. Appreciate it so much. Maddie says, hi. Burko says, Mint Chocolate Chip, what's up? Zed says, Maddie, hi. Say hi to Johnny. Maddie says, hi, Slayer. Hi, Burkos. Hi, Zed. Magnetic North Adventures. Hey. Hi, Lee. How's it going? Lee's here, everybody. Say hi to MNA, Magnetic North Adventures, Lee. How you doing, my friend? Burko says, gorgeous puppy. Thank you. That's Daisy May. That's the star of the channel. Magnetic says, hi, little Daisy. Troll says, hello, Maddie. Magnetic North says, hi, Maddie. Magnetic North says, hi, Burko. Hi, Brylan Farm. Maddie says, hi, Lee. Billy Obago says, Zed, are you drinking enough water? I was going to say that too, Zed. Maybe you need to drink some water. Maybe have some potassium, too. Lisa says, good morning, Troll Slayer. Magnetic North says, hi, Lisa. Hi, nobody really. Burko says, hey, Maddie. Jeff, YouTube headquarters, morning from Scotland. Scotland, hey, Jeff, welcome. We have lots of friends from Scotland. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Troll Slayer says morning to Lisa. Maddie says hi, Bill Bago. Yeah, good morning, Bill Bago. I don't know if I said that to you. Good morning. Magnetic North says hi, Mint. Maddie says doing good and you. I'm also good. I'm also good. Thank you. Stacy says we leave it running unsupervised all day long. Compared to email versus texting you get here. Yeah. Lisa says hi, Heat. Lisa says hi, Jeff. Lisa says hi, Maddie. Maddie says, do you have your water or tea? I hear thunder. I do have tea. Yes, I do. I have tea. Brylan says hello to Lee. Maddie says hi, Jeff. Sydney Cat. Hi, Sydney Cat. Sydney Cat's good morning, everyone. Everyone say good morning to Sydney Cat. You know, beautiful Sydney Cat. Lee's using emojis. Thank you. Min says, hey, Sonal. Sonal? Sonal, did you see? Sonal, hello, Daisy May. Hi, Sonal. Welcome, buddy. Oh, so good to see everybody. I'm so happy to see you guys. Hi, Sydney Cat. Welcome, welcome. Lee's using emojis. Thank you, Lee. Min says, hey, Sonal. Troll says, morning, Sonal. Maddie says, hi, Brylan Farm. Oh, hi, everybody. Magnetic says, hello, Sydney Cat. Tina says, Sonal, how are you? Lucia says, Daisy, do you have a cat? Yes, we do. We have a black cat named Magic. She's a tuxedo cat. Jeff says, hi. Jace. Jace sent it. Jace. Hi, Jace. Oh, my God, Jace, thank you so much. What in the world? Thank you, Jace. Oh, my goodness. Sonal says, hello, Mint. Sydney Cat's using emojis. Thank you, Sydney Cat. Positive Pokes got one. Excuse me. Rock Solid Passion got one. Mint Chocolate Chip Ball says, hi, Lee. Lee says, hi, Tina. Brigby says, wow. I say, wow. Brylan Farm says, hello, Sonal. Lisa, Sydney, and all I missed, chat zooming. And Maddie. Lee says, hi, Jace. Hi, Jace. Thank you so much. Sonal says, morning, Troll Slayer. Fever Dream got one. Virginia got one. And Hayden. I think Hayden's my grandson. I think that's my grandson. Maddie says, I will do. Lee says, hi, Rigby. And Jennifer got one. Zed says, y'all have, I have water with cherry flavor packets. Don't like play. That's okay. As long as you're drinking any kind of water. It doesn't matter what's in it. Jesse Connor's got one. I'm sorry, Jess. Sonal says, hello, Brylan. Mint Chocolate Chip says, hi, Sydney Cat. Sydney says, wow, Jace. Yes, Jace, thank you so much. Oh, my God. Jace says, hello, lovely people. Hello, Jace. You're so kind, buddy. Everybody, thank you, Jace. Maddie says, hi, Brad. Brad? Did I miss somebody named Brad? If I missed somebody named Brad, I apologize. I don't see it. Carl got one. Awesome. Lee says, I'm doing okay. Hope you're well. Thank you. Thank you, Lee. Min says, good morning, Maddie. Peter Harper got one. That's Nature Dog Room's friend, Peter. Nice. Sydney Cat's waving back at everyone. Thank you, Sydney Cat. DJ, hi, Miss Daisy May. Hi, DJ, welcome. Torpedo Hates says, Brian, I left a comment here. John, John got a gift membership too. Thank you, thank you. Someone's giving us some love. Maddie said hi to Summer and the boys. Say hi to Summer and the boys. Maddie said hi, Didge. Torpedo says, hey, Sydney Cat. DJ, Mint Chocolate Chip says hi, DJ. So does Lee Magnetic say it. Maddie says hi, Virginia. Torpedo says, hey, Maddie. Positive Poke says, I'm an MVP. That's right, Positive Pokes. Jeff YouTube says, thanks. Torpedo says, hey, DJ. Maddie says, hi, Hayden. Jay says, Lee, bro. DJ says, Mint. Hi. Hi, guys. Maddie says, hi, Jess. Magnetic says, hi, Possessive. Maddie says, hi, Sonal. Skits says, there's Skits. There's where the love's coming from right there. It's coming from Skits. Skits says, Jace, you super legend, bro. Thank you, guys. Torpedo Hay says, positive. Tina says, wow. Billy Bago says, good morning, everybody. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Holy mackerel. Maddie says, hi to Jennifer. Magnetic North says, hi, Billy Bago. Richard says, good morning to Jace. Jace says, hey, Maddie. Lee says, hi, Skits. DJ says, Torpedo, hey. Maddie says, hi, Sydney Cat. Jace says, hi, Mint. Maddie says, hi, Carl. Torpedo, he says, hey, Jace. Sonal says, Skits, the signaler is here. Sonal, my friend Sonal. Sydney Cat says, hi, Maddie. Magnetic North says, hi, Jace, buddy. Jeff says, hi, Lisa. Mint says, oh, good morning, Billy Bago. Maddie says, hi, Peter. Sydney says, Sonal, using emojis. Thank you, Sydney Cat. Magnetic North Adventure says, hey, Sonal. Jay says, hey, Torpedo Heat. Maddie says, Nifty Creations. Says, good. Sydney Cat says, sorry if I missed anyone. Maddie says, hi, John. I'm way behind. Time to bring out the big guns, everybody. This thing. I need to get caught up in the chat. I see Handmade and Homegrown did memberships. Handmade and Homegrown did 10 memberships. Thank you so much. Tina, Mike. I gotta catch up, guys. I feel terrible. All right. I'm catching up right now. Ready? Handmade and Homegrown. Oh my goodness. I need to catch up, and I can't dare do it. Jeff from YouTube says, Sydney Cat, hi. Lisa says, good morning to Sonal. Sonal says, hey, Lee. Brian Farm says, leave a message here in the live. Won't let me make you a mod there. Okay. Sydney Cat says, hey, Lisa, yay. Maddie says, hi, Skits. Jay says, Sonal and Jason. Sonal and Lisa, hello. Positive Folks says, Sonal MVP. That's right. Sydney Cat says, chefs, hooray. Teacher says, can we go for a boat ride? I wish we could. I don't have a boat. Skit says, hi, Magnet. Hi, Lee, the signaler. Or hi, the signaler. Sonal. Handmade sent 10 memberships. Handmade Homegrown. Thank you so much, everybody. Check out Handmade Homegrown. And also Jace. You know Jace. All you guys in the UK know Jace. And everybody else, go check out my friend Jace as well. Tina got one. Min says, hey, Jeff, YouTube headquarters. Maddie says, hi, Jace. DJ gives a thumbs up. Magnetic North says, hi, Handmade. Handmade and Homegrown. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is so kind and sweet of you. And Jace, thank you guys so much. We have 20 new members, guys. 20. Can you believe it? Magnetic says, hi, Handmade, as says Jace. Magnetic says, please smash the like button. It helps the channel. Please hit the like button. Yes. Sydney says, Handmade, yay. Skit says, Handmade, you legend. You legend, Handmade. Magnetic North says, bless you, Handmade and Jace. I'm pinning that too. Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, you guys. Brian says, hello, Jeff. Positive Folks, I think it's maxed out. Sydney Cat's using emojis. Thank you, Sydney Cat. Skit says, hi, Maddie. Sonal says, hey, Pokes. Min says, hi, Skits. Rigby says, LOL. Sydney says, hi, Brylan. Positive Folks says, Crafty Lady MVP. Crafty Lady, yeah, and Jace. Maddie says, hi to Pokes. Jace says, Daisy has a while to catch up yet. Hi, Jace. How's it going, beautiful? My beautiful friend, Jace. You're so lovely. Thank you, buddy. I'm so touched. I really am. Thank you. Skit says, hi, Mint Chocolate Chip. Brian says, congrats, Positive Pokes. Mint says, hello, Positive Pokes. Lisa says, hey, everyone. Hey, Lisa smiles a lot. Beautiful, beautiful Lisa. Sonal says, hello, Jace. Handmade Sydney Cat. Sydney Cat says, Hayden is a cute name. Well, yeah, and he spells it that way. That's why I think it's him. But he's never been here. So I'm going to have to ask him if that's him. Mint says, LOL, Jace. Sydney Cat says, Sonal, yippee. Justin Hill. Hi, Justin Hill. Welcome, Justin. How are you today? Handmaid says, good morning, Positive. Jace says, hey, Sydney Cat. Sydney Cat says, Jace, yay. Mint says, good morning to Justin. Maddie says, hi, Justin. Torpedo Heat says, Brian Farm, here you go. Maddie says, hi, Handmade. Andy says, big up, you guys. Must get on jobs to do. Have a great day. Oh, he's got jobs to do. Thank you, Andy. Andy, thank you so much. Andy from Yorkshire. Have a good one, Andy. Thank you so much. Sydney Cat says, hey, Torpedo Heat. Magnetic North says, hi, Justin. Maddie says, nope, sorry for that. Magnetic North says, hi, Andy. Andy says, hi, Ann. That's okay, Maddie. Don't worry about it. Lee says, hi, Andy. Andy says, hi, Ann. Wait a minute, Ann? Ann's not here. Did I miss Ann? Andy, you are trouble. You are trouble, Andy. Carl says, good afternoon. Hey, Carl, welcome. Someone says, Nature Dog is awesome. Yes, she is. Zed says, hello, Waldo. Hello, Waldo. Someone says, hello, Carl. Sydney Cat says, hey, Carl. Maddie says, hi, Andy. Jay says, hey, Carl. Lisa smiles. Law says, hi, Jace. Andy says, later, Magnetic. See ya, Andy. Mint Chocolate Chip Ball says, good afternoon, Carl. Sydney Cat's using emojis. Thank you, Sydney Cat. Ryland Farm says, look like you are already a mod torpedo. Sono says, hello, Maddie. Sono's using emojis. Thank you, Sono, with those love hearts. Jay says, Skits, baby. Skits and Jays, hi, guys. Lee says, hope you're all well. I hope you are too, Lee. Sono sending love hearts. Thank you, Sono. Ryan's here. Ryan says, good morning. Hi, Ryan. How's it going? Rigby says, I have to go. Bye. Bye, Rigby, Collie, and Zoe Pug. Thank you for being here today. Go out and have a great day, Rigby, Collie, and Zoe Pug. Magnetic North says, hi, Ryan. Maddie says, hi, Brylon. Definitely we'll say hi to Johnny for ya. Mint Chocolate Chip says, good morning, Ryan. How are you today? Tina says, oh. Brylon Farm says, yay, Rigby. Magnetic North says, take care, Rigby. Sonal says, take care, Rigby. Jay says, hi to Tina. Tina's using emojis. Tina, you're using the emojis. Oh, great, Tina. Maddie says, hi, Ryan. Rigby says, using emojis. Thank you, Rigby, Collie, and Zoe Pug. Sydney Cat's using them too. Thank you, Sydney Cat. Maddie says, woo, I catch up. Sonal's using emojis. So's Mint Chocolate Chip Ball. Skits says, have a great Wednesday, everyone. Thank you, Skits. Thank you, Skits, for the love. Thank you for being here. Maddie says, gosh, I was so behind. Sonal says, hello, everyone I missed. JBCB's Bird Sanctuary. JBCB says, good morning. Good morning, JBCB's Bird Sanctuary. Lee says hi to them. JB says, happy Wednesday. Hope everyone have a great day. Hope you have a great day today, and to everyone. Thank you, Chloe. Everybody say hi to JBCB's Bird Sanctuary. That's also Chloe. Sono says, hello, JBCB's. JBCB using emojis. Thank you. Maddie says, hi, JB. Kumari says, good morning. Hi, Kumari. Welcome, welcome, Kumari. How are you today? Happy Wednesday, everybody. Sono's using emojis. Maddie says, hi, Kumari. Lisa says, hi, Sydney Cat. Lisa says, good morning to Kumari. Sono says, good morning, Kumari. Kumari says, hi, Maddie. Mint Chocolate Chip Ball says, good morning to Kumari. Kumari says, Sono, hi. Maddie drops the link for Maddie. Thank you, Maddie. Everyone check out Maddie's Nifty Creations. Lovely lady, lovely channel, lovely family. Kumari says, hey, Mint Chocolate Chip Balls. Mint says, hi, JBCBs. Maddie dropped a link for Johnny's Corner. There you go. That's her husband. Check out Johnny's Corner, you guys. Magnetic North Adventures Lee's using emojis. Thank you, Lee. Handmade Homegrown says, you are very welcome, Kelly. Thank you for all you do for all of us. We appreciate you so much. Aw, Handmade Homegrown. Thank you so much. You're so sweet and kind. Nicole is here again. Hi, Nicole. Welcome back. Nice to meet you at the same place. Yes, I remember you. Welcome back. Maddie dropped a link for, I can't read it, Maddie. It's blue, it's dark blue, and it's very hard to see, but cooking. Check out Maddie's link, you guys. Sono says, hello, handmade, homegrown. Magnetic Doors Adventures is handmade, well said. Totally agree. Thank you, guys. You guys are so sweet. JBCB's is our member for a month. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's all the love hearts. It's all about the love hearts, guys. Giving it, spreading it, right? Spreading the love. Maddie says, hi, Nicole. Lisa says, working on making cookies. Lisa's making hot cookies for everybody. Sonal says, the wonderful Jace. There's Jace Link. Thank you, Sonal. Thank you, Sonal, for that. I'm going to check out my friend Jace. He's amazing. If you guys want to work out and get in shape, go check out Jace. He will help you. And no matter what your fitness level is, he will help you. He's amazing. Sonal's handmade's also wonderful. Yes, handmade and homegrown. And Toolman. Wonderful, wonderful people. Thank you so much, everybody. Justin says, I need a cookie. Handmade says, my chat is moving slow, but hello to everyone I've missed. Hello, handmade and homegrown. Brylon Farm says, hello, welcome, Nicole. Magnetic North says, I have a premiere at 7 p.m. 2 p.m. 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Okay, so as soon as I start the Scrabble game up, I have to turn you on. Everybody check out Magnetic North Adventures. 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. United States East Coast time, Eastern time. Adjust your times accordingly. Thank you, Lee. I look forward to it. I love your premieres. Mint says, I'm making a fresh cup of tea. Oh, enjoy. Magnetic says, hi, Mikhail. Mint chocolate chip says, oh, nicely. Lee dropped a link for his, I think it's for the premiere. Thank you, Lee. West Country Mudlark says, hi, Daisy. Can't stay, but got a busy day. Popped in to hit the like. Thank you, West Country Mudlarks. Everybody say hi to West Country Mudlarks. Thank you so much for stopping in. It's very supportive. West Country's, Mint says, hey, West Country. So does Maddie say, hi, West Country. Maddie says, hope everyone has a great day today. Thank you, Maddie. I hope you do too. Enjoy your day. West Country says, hey, Maddie. Mint's using emojis. Thank you, Mint. Maddie says, smash those likes. Smash the like buttons, everybody. Magnetic North says, hi, West Country. And he says, hi, Lee. Ryan says, good morning. Hey, Ryan. Ryan says, good morning, guys. Ryan. Hello, Ryan. How are ya? JBCB says, morning off to work. Have an amazing day, everyone. Thank you, JBCB's Bird Sanctuary. Everybody check out their Bird Sanctuary, their channel. It's lovely, people, and it's a beautiful, beautiful stream as well. Peter says, thanks for my membership. Hi, Peter. Peter, I know you from Nature Dog Realms. Welcome. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello to us. Everybody, Peter Harper, you guys know Peter. It's Nature Dog's friend. And now he's our friend, too. Thank you, Peter, for stopping and saying hello. You were gifted a membership. Absolutely. Take advantage of that for 30 days. Check out the members' content and post. There's lots of things for members. And every day I'm working on more stuff. Lisa says, hey, West Country. Sonal also says, hello, West Country. Mint says, you too, JBCBs. Mint says, hello, Peter. Maddie says, I'm going to go lay down before my girls wake up and get some more rest. Have a great day, everyone. See you on the next one. Thank you, Maddie. Everybody check out Maddie's Nifty Creations. Thank you, Maddie. My Linda's here. Hello, Daisy. Hi, Melinda Elliott. Everybody, you know Melinda. My Linda, say hello to her. Hello, chat. She says, hey, my Linda, welcome. Magnetic North says, hi, Peter. My Linda says, thumb 30. Maddie says, cooking time with Johnny. I steal the plates. Cooking time with Johnny. That's the links, guys. Mint Chocolate Chip says, take care, Maddie. Lucia said, hi. Hi, Lucia. West Country says, hi, Lisa. Maddie says, hi to my Linda. Peter says, I'll only be in for a little bit as I'm in the middle of a tennis game. Oh, nice, Peter. Go play tennis. Enjoy that. Thank you so much for stopping in and saying hello to us. Peter Harper. Zed says, morning, Ryan. Maddie says, later, everyone. And hi, Lucia. Bye, Maddie. Thank you so much. Lee says, hi to my Linda. Mint Chocolate Chip says, hi, my Linda. Magnetic North says, hi, Zed. Zonal says, you're welcome. Hi, thank you, Sonal. You're so sweet. Lucia says, is the dog okay? Yeah, she's asleep. She's taking a nap. Magnetic North says, later, Maddie. Lisa's using emojis. Thank you, Lisa. My Linda says, hello, Magnetic North. Peter says, I've got to get back to the tennis game now. See you soon. And thanks for the membership. You're welcome, Peter. Thank you. My Linda says, hello, Mint Chocolate. Old Path. Shalom, shalom. Hello, Old Path Woodworks. Welcome, welcome, Old Path. How are you today? Ryan says, hi, Daisy. Hi, Ryan. Magnetic North says, hi, Old Path. Mint Chocolate Chip says, hi, Old Path Woodworks. Sonal. Sonal. Thank you, Sonal. Oh, thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. I can't take it how sweet you guys are. Thank you, Sonal, so much. Wow. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, Sonal. Thank you, buddy. Jen's here. She says, good morning, guys. Hi, Jen. Welcome. Ryan says, good. Ryan's doing good. My Linda says, hello, Ryan. West Country says, bye, everyone. Have a great day. Bye, West Country Mudlarks. Everybody check out West Country Mudlarks. Great couple. They do mudlarking. It's so cool and interesting. Great channel. Thank you guys so much. Ryan says, just wait until my alarm goes off. Sonal says, hello, Ryan. Larry's here. Hey, Larry. When Larry sings. Good morning, Larry. Lee says, I have to go save data for premiere. See you later. Have a great day. Thank you, Lee, so much. Everybody check out Magnetic North Adventures. 7 p.m. UK time has a premiere. 2 p.m. East Coast time on the United States. Lee, Magnetic North has a premiere. Adjust your times accordingly and check it out. Lisa's done with the cookies. Thank you, Lisa. Hi, Jazz. Good morning, Jazz. Welcome back. Min says, hi, Larry. Jen says, good morning, Chad. Hello, Jen. Welcome. Zed says, hello, Magnetic. If I am awake, if, and a big if, Daisy reminds me at 2 p.m. my time. I may stop in. Thank you, Zed. You should probably try to get some sleep. I definitely will try to remind everybody at 2 p.m. Not crosswords, Scrabble. I can't talk today. Remind me when we start Scrabble today to turn on Lee. Lee's got a premiere, same time. I've got to make sure. Ryan says hello, Sonal. Old Path says, hey, West Country, Magnetic North, and mint chocolate chip balls. Sonal says, now I'm going to stream vertical. My sub count went up, and I hope it stays like that. Yeah, vertical definitely brings you more subs. It definitely does. People see more. Yep. Lisa says good morning to Larry. Larry, how you doing, buddy? Old Pat says good morning, Maddie. Old Pat, how are you today? Welcome, everybody. Good morning. Lisa says, hey, Peter. Mint says, I sub my Linda, and Old Pat Works. Thank you, Richard. And he also says, morning, Jen. Lisa says, hi, Old Pat. Sonal says, you're welcome, Daisy. Thank you, Sonal. You're so sweet. So sweet. I can't stand how sweet you are. So nice. I love you, buddy. Sonal says, I wonder if Stud Bunny is okay. I haven't seen him. I know it. He was moving back to London or somewhere over there. So I'm assuming he's doing that. But he said he would come back. So I trust him to his word. And he will be back eventually. I hope he's okay too, Sonal. Yep. Old Pat says, hi, Lisa smiles a lot. Sonal says, hello, Larry. Old Pat says, thanks, Mint chocolate chip balls. Mint says, you're welcome. My Linda says, your voice sounds so familiar. It does? Hi, my Linda. Sonal says, hello, my Linda. Larry says, I'm good. Awesome, Larry. Sonal says, hello, Old Pat. Sonal says, Melinda, sub back. Handmade and homegrown says, Sonal, thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you so much for your kindness. Absolutely. I love that. We have to pin that. Thank you so much for your kindness. I love that. Jennifer's, oh my God, thank you so much for the membership. Oh yes, Jennifer, welcome. Yes, you were gifted membership from one of our wonderful people here. Min says, hello, Jennifer. And I reached the bottom of the chat. Oh my goodness. All right, folks, here we go. Here we go. Here's the tea. I have been sipping on it, but I'm gonna have some more. Welcome to tea time. Enjoy your coffee. Enjoy your tea. Whatever you're drinking, enjoy that. Members, make sure you check out the new members or members only content. All right? Check it out. Mint says, hello, Jennifer. Sonal says, hello, Jennifer. Jennifer says, hi, Mint. Sonal says, you're welcome, handmade. Old Pat says, doing good in Mississippi. In 79, heating up. Gonna be hot in the woods. Yeah, it's gonna be hot. Try to stay cool, everybody. Jennifer says, hi, Sonal. Mint says, cheers. Cheers to you too, Richard. Sonal says, I didn't do a good job catching up with my chat yesterday. Brian says, congratulations to Jennifer. Yes. Congratulations, new members, and welcome. In my chat here, you will find the most amazing men and women on the planet right here in this chat. Go check out everybody in the chat. Check out the channels. You'll find out they're lovely, wonderful people. Lovely people, lovely channels. Brylan says, sorry I missed it, Sonal. Jennifer says, thanks, Brylan Farm. Min says, I don't live near the woods. I'm in a concrete jungle. Me too, Richard. Concrete jungle. Hi, Paul. Paul says, hi, everyone. Hi, Paul. Welcome. Jennifer says, so cute. Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, use those emojis, you guys. Use them. That's why I make them. I make them for you to use them. I think they're so adorable. So this is Bryland Farm. It's okay. Mint says, hi, Paul. Paul says, hi, Mint. Kelly says, hi, everybody. Uh-oh. I hear lawnmowers. I hear lawnmowers. Paul says, hi, Mint. Loved our Toy Pops. Toy Pops. Hey, girl. How's it going? Toy Pops is using emojis, and she says, hi, hello, Puppy Mama. You guys all know Puppy Mama. Hello, Toy Pops. Peter says, hi, just thought I'd pop back in. We're taking breaks in between rounds in tennis. Thank you, Peter. Wow, Peter, thank you so much. Someone says, I understand if people have a busy schedule, no need to apologize. Min says, hi, toy pups. Love our toy pups. 4 says, using emojis. Love our toy pups. 4, we love her. Jennifer says, hi, toy pups. Toy pups says, hi, Mint. How's it going, toy pups? How's it going? How's it going? Peter says, hi, Jennifer. Love toy pups says, hi, Mint. Zono says, hello, toy pups. Paul says, hi, toy pups. And she says, busy day today. Busy day today. What are you up to? What are you up to? Brylon Farm says, hello, Peter. My Linda says, oh, I hit the wrong buttons. That's okay. Toy Pop says, Sono, hi. I fix it. I fix it. Jennifer, she did not mean to hold your message hostage. I fix it, Jennifer. Jennifer says, hi to Toy Pups. That's all right, my Linda, no worries. Toy Pop says, hi, Sono, hi, Paul. Sono says, hello, Paul. Toy Pop says, a few appointments. She has a few appointments. My Linda says, I'm so sorry. That's okay, my Linda, it happens. No worries, Jennifer, she didn't mean it, okay? It's okay. I gotta go to the dentist appointment. Sorry, bye, love you, and thanks for the membership again. Thank you, Jennifer. Stop back and see us sometime, okay? Have a good day, Jennifer, and good luck at the dentist. Toy Pop says, oh, I have appointments, but it's hot. Oh, I know it's hot, I'm so sorry. Someone says, my Linda, I hit the wrong button too. All the time, we all do it. She says, thank you, no problem. Toy Pop says, hey, Jennifer. Peter says, I'm so happy that I've got a membership on this channel. Thank you, Peter. Me too. I see you always over there with Nature Dog. She loves you. And I know that you love her. That's so awesome. Thank you for stopping in and being with us, Peter. Thank you so much. So kind. Min says, take care, Jennifer. Jennifer says, yes, love our toy pups. Old Path is finishing up a video today. New content coming. Old Path Woodworks, everybody. Check him out. He's got a new video coming up today. He's got a new video coming up soon, okay? Peter says, I've got to finish the game now, my friend. See you soon. Bye, Peter. Go play tennis. Have fun. Larry sings, hello, Peter. Larry, when Larry sings. How's my friend Larry? Min says, have a wonderful day, Peter. Share Bear. Purple Share Bear's here. She says, good morning, everyone. I hear lawnmowers. Share Bear says, good morning. Good morning, beautiful Share Bear. Someone says, I accidentally hit someone when I was holding my phone, modding for a friend. Sometimes it happens. Your fingers slip. You don't mean to do it. You just tell the people, I did this. I'm sorry. It was a mistake. Right? Someone says, hello, Share Bear. Larry says, it's my birthday. Larry, I remember not too long ago, you were telling me your birthday was coming up, so we have to sing happy birthday to Larry. Just 1 minute. Share Bear says, hi, Min, hi, Sono, hi, Larry. Min Chocolate Chip says, good morning, Share Bear. Share Bear says, happy birthday, Larry. Have a blessed day. Yeah, I'm going to sing to you, Larry. I'm going to sing to our friend Larry. Min says, good morning, Share Bear. Share Bear says, happy birthday, Larry. Have a blessed day. Share Bear says, hi, handmade. Sono's using emojis. Larry says, I'm 43. All right. As soon as this plane goes by, Larry, I'm singing to you. Sono says, happy birthday, Larry. Are you ready? Are you ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Larry. When Larry sings, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dearest Larry. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Larry. Happy birthday. Someone says, happy birthday, Larry. Paul says, happy birthday, Larry. Min says, happy birthday, Larry. Brylon Farm says, hello, Share Bear. Share Bear says, hi, Paul. Brylon Farm says, happy birthday, Larry. Berry's here. And many more. Hi, Berry. I hear the mowers, guys. I gotta go get the remote mic. Hold on. Give me 1 minute, guys. right, I'm gonna switch over to the remote mic while they're here. This is gonna be noisy and I don't wanna deal with it. All right, give me 1 minute, guys. All right, sorry about that. We had to come inside because they're mowing and it's very loud, as you heard. Come here, Daisy Dukes. All right, let me catch up in the chat now, guys. I'm so sorry about this. Barry, good morning, Barry. How are you, buddy? Paul says, hi, Sheer Bear. Handmade Homegrown says, happy birthday when Larry sings. And Chocolate Chip says, hey, Barry. Bill Your Bagel says, happy birthday, Larry. Barry says, hi, Mint. Sonal says, hello, Barry. Sheer Bear says, hi, Barry and Bill Your Bagel. Why are birthdays good for your health? Studies show that people who have more birthdays live longer. Yes, they do, Barry. Yes, they do. They sure do. Barry says, hello, Sonal. Hello, Share Bear. Bill Your Bagel says, hi, Share Bear. Sonal says, Barry, good one. Gitten's here. Hi, Gitten. Good morning. Or good afternoon, Gitten. She says, happy birthday, Larry. Brylan Farm says, hey, Gitten. Sonal says, hello, wonderful Gitten. She says, hello, everyone in the chat using emojis. Thank you, Gitten. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Barry says, hello, Gitten. Shipper says, hi, Gitten. Hi, Brylan Farm. It looks like we're going to have rain any minute. You can hear me good? Okay. Thank you, guys. All right. Thank you so much. And now I'm having some tea. We're having some tea. Loud and clear. Awesome. Gitten says, hi, Barry. Hi, Sonal. So, you guys, it is, can you believe it? June 25th. And you know, it was 6 months ago today, it was Christmas. And now 6 months from today, it's also Christmas. Has anybody bought a Christmas present yet? Anybody start their Christmas shopping early? Like really early? I used to. I used to start in August. Not anymore, though. Getting says, hi, Brylan Farm. Hi, Share Bear. Sonal's using emojis. Thank you, Sonal. Mint Chocolate Chip. I'm going to say bye for now, Miss Daisy. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Richard. I look forward to talking to you later. You go out and have fun, okay? Be careful out there, Richard. I love you, buddy. Share Bear says, look at the sky. The clouds look like rain. Yeah, right? Rain. My Linda says, yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Thank you, my Linda. Everyone say bye to Richard. Take care and have a lovely day. You too, buddy. Someone says, not yet. Kitten says, no, never. No, never. Shearbear says, I should start. I have like 25 people to buy for. Someone says, take care, Richard. Shearbear says, my daughter's birthday. Oh, happy birthday to your daughter, Shearbear. Yeah, happy birthday to your daughter and Larry. They share a birthday, June 25th. June 25th. A good day to have a birthday, everybody. Happy birthday to your daughter, Share Bear. Share Bear says, bye, Richard. Have a blessed day. She also says, thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Sonal. Sonal says, you're welcome, Share Bear. Yeah, we have some clouds. We had rain this morning. That's why I didn't go to the beach. It rained just before I got up. And when my husband took Daisy out he takes her out at 6 a.m. and then I leave at about 6:20 or so when they come back. And he said, you might want to just stay in bed. Everything's wet. I'm like, oh, that sounds good to me. But then I stayed in bed and I was watching Lucy Warren's World on my iPad, and I ran late. I didn't even get out of bed till like 7:40. But I'm doing good now, though. Brylan Farm says, buy mint chocolate chip balls. Someone says, I will still be 35 next month. Your birthday's next month, Sonal. When? Oh, wait a minute. Sonal, you don't have to tell us. I'm sorry about that. But you're a July baby? My son is also a July baby. My oldest son is a July baby. Cool. July 23rd. Oh, there you go. Nice. July 23rd. That's nice. Excuse me. Okay. I know some, you know what? Sometimes when you're doing a live stream and you're talking to people that you consider your friends and your family now, right? Like you ask them questions that you normally wouldn't ask a stranger. So once I said it, like, so what day is it? Like, I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't have asked them that. That's a little personal, right? But thank you for letting us know. July 23rd. Less than a month away, Sonal. Less than a month away. So, Larry, are you still here? Larry, are you here? What are you doing for your birthday if you're still here? You gonna have a big cake? I sure hope so. I hope you're having a big cake. What kind of cake do you like, Larry? What's your favorite birthday cake? Anybody? My favorite? This is my favorite. It's called spice cake with chocolate frosting. That's my favorite cake of all time. Hey, half empty. Half empty's here. Everybody say hi to half empty. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Half empty. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Half empty. Everybody say hello. Sonal says, I'm happy to answer the question. Oh, thank you, Sonal. You're so sweet. Larry says, vanilla cake. Vanilla cake. Awesome, Larry. Nice. Getting some strawberry cake. 603 Pirate Magnet Pirate Jason's here. Hi, Jason. Jason says, hey, friends. Hey, Jason. How's it going? Sonal says, hello, half empty. Half empty says, good morning, all. Good morning, half empty. How are we today? Lisa says, I would figure Sonal would be the fourth because he makes people smile. That's my son's birthday, Lisa. Billy Bagel says, chocolate cherry. And I eat the whole cake. Hey, if it's your birthday cake, you can eat as much as you want. Kitten says, hi, Lisa. So does Sonal say, hi, Lisa. Brylan Farm says, same Billy Bagel, chocolate cherry. And I eat the whole cake. Jason says, happy birthday, Larry. Happy birthday, Larry. Happy birthday, Larry. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Larry says, thanks, everyone. Jason says, happy birthday, Larry. Kitten says, hi, Bill, your bag. Oh, Sonal says, Lisa, I wish my birthday was on the 4th. Yeah, my son's birthday's on the 4th. How old is he going to be? Let's see. Larry. Bill, your bag says, hey, Kitten, how's it going? Larry, I think you and my son are the same age. I think Larry is the same age as my oldest son. I think so. I'm gonna go outside and take a look. I don't hear the mower, so I want to go take a look. Let's see what's going on outside. I smell the grass, but I don't see them. All right, I'm back outside, at least for right now. Rock Solid Passion, happy, happy, happy day when Larry sings. Thank you, Rock Solid Passion. Someone's using love hearts. Rock Solid says, hello, everyone. Good morning, Daisy Mae's mom. Oh, here they come. I'm going back inside. Sorry, Daisy. It was quiet, but just for a minute. All right. Hi, Rock Solid Passion. How are you? Welcome, welcome, and good morning, good morning, good morning. Morning, Daisy's mom. Hello, everyone. Sonal says hello, Rock Salad. Sonal's using love hearts emojis. Thank you, Sonal. Rock Salad Passions, happy, happy day when Larry sings. Happy birthday. Rock Salad Passions says hello, Sonal. Sonal says love hearts. Thank you, Sonal. Sherbert says good morning, Rock Salad Passion. Sonal's using emojis. Thank you. You're welcome, Daisy. Oh, Smurfy. Smurfy Sonal's here. Rock Salad Passion says, Sherbert, good morning. How are you? Gitten says, hi, Rock Salad Passion, using those emojis. Thank you, Gitten. Thank you, Gitten. So, Larry, it's your birthday. What are you going to do for your birthday, Larry? Do you have anything planned? Are you going out for like a nice breakfast or dinner or something or lunch? Is someone making you your favorite meal? I sure hope you have birthday cake. Smurfy Soul says, hello, Orange Share Bear. Share Bear's using emojis. Thank you. Peter Harper says, hi, Gitten. Rock Salad says, good morning, Gitten. Larry says, my sister's birthday was 17 and my grandpa's birthday was the 24th. Oh, nice. Oh, Larry, that's nice. Someone says, hello, Orange Share Bear. Gitten says, hi, Peter. Peter says, hi, Gitten. Larry says, no plans. I'm thinking about going live today. Oh, good. You should go live today. Absolutely. Everyone can say happy birthday to you. Sherbert says, good morning to Peter Harper. You guys all know Peter from, our friend, Nature Dog Realms. That's Peter Harper. You guys know Peter. Rock Salad Passion says, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Hi, Tiny. Tiny says, happy birthday, Larry. Peter says, hi, Shibber. Happy birthday. Oh, boy, they're right outside. I could hear them. They are right outside here. Tiny says, hi to May. Old Path Woodwork says, my wife is coming out with a new fragrance cologne as channel merchandise for our channel. Really? Going to be awesome, but all her stuff is great. Old Path Woodworks. I need to get over to see you. And why am I not subscribed to you? Am I subscribed to you with my other channel? That makes me angry that, see, it probably didn't stick. So right now, I'm going to give you a comment. Hold on one second. All right, there we go. All right. I want to see that. I definitely want to get back over there. I apologize for that. Shame on Kelly. Shame, shame, shame. Hi, Miss Southern Belle. Miss Southern Belle is here, everybody. Say hello to Miss Southern Belle. Someone says hello, Tiny. Tiny says hi to all. Lisa says happy birthday, Larry. Larry says, hey, Kay. Miss Southern Belle says, good morning. Good morning, Miss Southern Belle. How are you? Rock Salad Passions is premiered today, 4 p.m. Everyone is welcome. A 4 p.m. on the East Coast. Rock Salad Passion is at Eastern time. Southern Belle says, happy birthday to Larry. Thank you, Miss Southern Belle. Sherbert says, Tina, Tiny, Old Path, and Miss Southern Belle, good morning. Kitten says, hi, Old Path. Miss Southern Belle says, hey, Share Bear. Peter says, very satisfying view, isn't it? It is, isn't it? And they're mowing the lawn today, too. Thank you, Peter. That's so sweet. Someone says, hello, Miss Southern Belle. Old Pat says, hi, Share Bear. Rock Salad Passion. I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens. This is why I'm getting, there's a lot of people that interact here with us and with me, and yet they don't come up in my feed. So I have to go looking for them. And then Like, because you hit the subscribe and maybe you forget to leave a comment, or maybe you want to come back and leave a comment and you forget to go back. And it's just wrong. And I apologize. Peter says, happy birthday. Lisa says, here's the link. Thank you, Lisa. There's the link for Old Path. Thank you. Rock Salad says, hello. Hello, Rock Salad. Sonal says, Old Path, I subbed with my other channel. Thank you, Sonal. Abigail Carpenter's here. Abigail says, hi. Hi, Abigail. How are you today? Welcome, welcome. Tiny says, hi to Belle. Abigail says, happy birthday, Larry. The Southern Belle says, hello to all the good looking people. That's everybody in the chat is beautiful, including yourself, Miss Southern Belle. Someone says, hello, Abigail. Rocks out. I'm in Arkansas, Central Time. Okay, so I'm in East Coast time. So it would be 3 o'clock my time? Mm, no, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock my time. Okay. My Linda says, hello, Miss Southern Belle. Tiny says, hi, Abigail. Old Path says, link to my wife's fragrance store. Thank you, Old Path. She's got an Etsy store. Nice. Rock Salad says, hey, Ms. Melinda. Sherbert says, my Linda. Abigail, hi. Someone says, I get frustrated too. Miss Southern Belle says, hi, Melinda. Rock Salad says, Sonal, do I have your other channel or is it a support channel? Lisa says, hi, beautiful Abigail. Sherbert says, Old Path Woodworks. I wasn't subbed with this channel either, but I'm on the other one, and now this is one. Awesome, Sherbert. You're so wonderful. Rock Salad, 2 hour difference. 2 hours. Thank you. Miss Southern Belle says, did you get cake? Did you get some cake, Larry? Oops, 1 o'clock. Thank you. 1 hour difference. Yeah, 1 hour difference. Someone says, what makes me frustrated even more is that I can't sub to more people in my main channel. YouTube is telling me I have too many subs. What? Old Pass says, thank you, Share Bear. Sonal, they're telling you they won't let you. What? Is that a glitch? I don't understand YouTube sometimes, Sonal. I really don't, right? Tiny says, it's okay, Sonal. And what happens to you too? Shimmers says, Sonal's all about nature. Weird. Sonal's all about nature. Sonal says, Rock Salad, it's my other channel. Old Path says, thanks, Sonal. It's all about nature. Lisa smiles a lot. Miss Southern Belle says, it's because they have to pause for a while. Really? It may be a glitch. I never heard of that. I never heard of them saying you have too many subs. You can't get more. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that all works. I just want to make sure that I'm out there. Shibber, very weird. Yeah, is it weird? Miss Southern Belle, how are you? How's things in Georgia? Are you getting any rain? It looks like we're going to get some rain today. I'm not sure though. And they haven't been leaving comments. That's my problem. That's my problem. When I'm on doing a live stream and I want to go sub up to somebody and leave a comment, excuse me. Um, it's hard to do when I'm live streaming and reading comments or playing Scrabble or whatnot. So I usually just hit the subscribe and it probably falls off. Yeah, it does. It's my own fault. Rock Salads just have to get going. Have a great day, everyone, and have a wonderful day when Larry sings. Aw, thank you, Rock Salad Passion. You have a great day too. We look forward to everyone's premieres. Someone says, take care, Rock Salad. Tiny says, Sonal, all you have to do is unsubscribe to the people you don't really watch their channel anymore. Lisa says, have a great day, Rock Salad. Yes. And thank you for being here, Rock Salad. Thank you so much. Miss Southern Bus, I'm good. I finished a diamond painting and fixing to start another one. You're amazing, young lady. You are amazing. I've been working on Cinderella forever. It seems like forever. I allow myself a month to do one. And I've been working on it since May. Um, and it's I don't know how you do it. I just don't have enough time to do it. I start it and I try to get a schedule going where I'm going to work on it every day for an hour. And then the day goes and I didn't work on it at all. So, wow, good for you. So it's this tiny good idea. Thanks. No problem. It worked for me. Miss Southern Bells, I have 7 of them going at a time. You do? Wow, that's awesome. Well, right now I'm still working on Cinderella, and I am in the middle of working on some new cards as well. I did 6 new journals. They're going to go up on my site as soon as I get time to put them up. I did a Halloween table topper. I did that. Peter says, "Hi, Lisa." Yeah, I saw your truck last night, Miss Southern Belle. The pickup truck you did. That was beautiful. You did a good job. You must have really good eyes too, because my eyes get super tired when I'm doing it. I use a big magnifying glass, and my eyes get like so strained. Oh, thank you, Miss Southern Belle. You're so sweet. I appreciate you so much. You guys know Miss Southern Belle and the ladies, KY Philly, and a star. They all do the live stream where they diamond paint and they chit chat, and the ladies are also sweet and so fun. Thank you, Miss Southern Belle, for being here. Granny Paula. Hi, Paula. How are you? She says, morning, all. She says, happiest birthday to you, Larry sings. When Larry sings, happy birthday, Larry. Tiny says, May, have you done Frozen? No, I have not. Not yet, but I'm going to. I have her. Miss Southern, I don't do journals. Oh, okay. Larry says, I got one of NDR's diamond pieces on my refrigerator. Oh, how nice, Larry. She does good work too. Tina says, hi, Sumia. Shearbear says, good morning, Granny Paula. Paula says, hey, Tina Bina. And hi, Shearbear. Larry says, thanks, Paula. Paula says, you're welcome. Yeah, my journals, I've sold all the journals that I did. Now, I only did 3. Well, no, I shouldn't say I sold. I sold 2 and 1 I gave to a friend. Peter says, it's an honor to be gifted a membership, isn't it? Thank you, Peter. Make sure you check out all the members only content, you guys. There's member only videos, shorts, posts. There's a daily member emoji pick poll underneath the post tab. Go over there. And there's also photo drops, which I'm working on a new one right now. Abigail says, hi, Tiny. Or, sorry, hi, Granny. Tiny says, Larry, you going live later? Peter says, hi, Sonal. How are you? Abigail says, hi, Sonal. Granny Paula says, hi, Miss Southern Belle. Miss Southern Belle says, hey, Paula. Paula says, hi, Abigail. Miss Southern Belle's using emojis. Thank you, young lady. I work hard on those emojis. Please use the emojis. Someone says, doing well, Peter. How are you? Lisa says, hi, Paula. Hi, Miss Southern Belle. Paula says, yes, it is, Peter, and hello. Hi, Lisa. Larry says, I'm going to try. Great, Larry. I hear quiet outside. Sonal's using emojis. Thank you, Sonal. I really do work hard on my channel, you guys. If you go to the post tab, I do a daily emoji pick poll for members and sometimes for everybody. I also do a daily true and false question quiz, and I do a daily trivia question quiz. Please go check them out. Miss Southern Belle says, I got to go have a beautiful rest of the day. Thank you, Miss Southern Belle. You too. Thank you for being here. Everybody say goodbye to Miss Southern Belle. You be careful out there, young lady. And drink your water, everybody. Drink your water. Miss Southern Belle, thank you so much. Bear's using emojis too. So is Sonal. So is Lisa. So is Sonal. Tina says, I'm playing Animal Crossing. Paul is using emojis. So is Sonal. Tiny says, ah, they're so cute. Thank you. Thank you. Shearbird says, Miss Southern Belle, have a blessed day. Lisa's using emojis, as is Sonal. Thank you, guys. Granny Paula says, nice, Tina. Sonal says, take care, Miss Southern Belle. Tiny says, bye, Belle. Sonal's using emojis. Thank you, Sonal. Is that little Miss Daisy May? It sure is. Abigail says, so cute. Peter says, Rain and shine where I used to work. We had a female black cat named Membership. Funny name for a cat. It is a funny name, Peter. Membership. Who would name their cat that? Did you call him Memby? Did they call him Member? Shippy? That's cute, Peter. Abigail says so cute. Thank you, Abigail. Lisa's using emojis. Thank you, Lisa. Paula says, Daisy, you do work really hard on your channel. Thank you, Paula. I really, really do. I really do. And I really hope people enjoy it. Sonal's using the YouTube one. I love that one, Sonal, with Daisy with the YouTube logo. Share Bear says, Daisy, you do a great job with your channel. Thank you, Share Bear. Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you. I really do try hard to make it fun for everybody. Thank you, guys. Tiny says, all the puppy ones are so cute. Thank you. Someone says, Peter, very funny, but I would make sense of it if the cat was green. If the cat was green. Share says, I didn't even check in this morning. I went to the post. Oh, thank you, Share Bear. Thank you. I appreciate it. Paul says, we all really enjoy it. Oh, thank you, Paula. Thank you, guys. That's so sweet. You know, when you start to do something in your life and you're not sure, like you have unsure footing, but little by little you start to learn and you start to make it better. And that's how I was with my channel. I started my channel when my dog passed away because I was so lost, you guys. When I lost my dog, I was lost. I was really just going through life, just living. I was barely living, but I was living. And then I started the channel, and it was all about Florida stuff. And, I was just posting videos of things that I did throughout the day because now I was totally alone and by myself. And then we got Daisy. And one day by accident, I posted a video of Daisy on a trip we were taking. And people started to comment and stuff. And I said to my husband, you know what? I'm going to make Daisy the star of the channel. People seem to like her, and, maybe I can do something fun and make some friends and stuff. And then it started to grow and grow. And then I thought, you know what? Let's make this channel something really fun. And it's all I can say is thank you to everybody here, everybody lurking, everybody watching, everybody listening. Because you guys all brought me like back to life again. You don't even know what you guys have all done for me. Because since 2023, when I lost my dog, I was a mess. And now I'm just so happy and so thankful and so grateful that I did it and that I stuck it out. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who are here. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all so much. So thank you and thank you and thank you. Someone says, wonderful, Share Bear's other channel. Yeah, Share Bear's the best. Old Passes got to run, guys. Got to get that video made as well as all the projects I got going on. Have a blessed day and much shalom to everybody's home. Old Path Woodworks, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Everybody check out our friend Old Path Woodworks. Stop in and watch his videos, okay? Say hello to him. Lisa says, beautiful because the beautiful lady made them. Thank you, Lisa. You're so sweet. Someone says, Peter, yep. Tiny says, Sona like Alice in Wonderland. Someone says, Tiny, LOL. Gitten says, thank you, Gitten. West Country says, all done, I'm free. Hello, West Country. Welcome back. West Country's using emojis. Thank you. Paula says, I'm always telling my husband how much your channel has grown and has done out of pure love of it, fun and community. Gotta love what you do in a show. Thank you, Paula. I do. Like when I come and play Scrabble with you guys in the afternoon, I love to play Scrabble. I used to play Scrabble with my kids, and I used to play Scrabble with somebody a long, long time ago. And I haven't played for a long, long time. And so the one day I thought, I'm going to play some Scrabble. Maybe somebody will play with me. And now it's so fun. I really enjoy it. Just like the crossword puzzles. I love crossword puzzles. I've done them my whole life. Thank you, Paula. You're so sweet. You are so sweet. West Country says we love you. I love you too, you guys. Thank you, Paula. Looks nice and quiet. Let's go check. Hi, Stuart Tingley. Everybody say hi to Stuart. Hey, Stuart, how's it going? Someone says, I felt the same way when my dog passed, right? Like you're kind of like lost. Yep. Hey, mate. Oh, hey, thank you guys. Thank you. Oh my goodness. It it's just I'm so appreciative. You know what I mean? I'm really appreciative and thankful. I'm thankful I have all you guys to have my tea with in the morning because normally it's just me. Thank you, everyone. Brian says, hello, Stuart. So does Sonal. Paula says, I took a crazy job after all my pets passed in 2022. Total crapshoot, I called it. Turned out to be one of the best experiences I've ever had. Oh my goodness, Paula, really? That's amazing. Paul sending hugs. Thank you, Paul. Colleen's here, everybody. Friend of Dashes and more. Everyone say hi to Colleen. Colleen says, morning, everyone. Hey, Colleen. Good morning. Stuart says, hello, Sonal and Stacy. Paul says, grief. The best cure is action. Get busy moving forward. Yep. I did. I sat around and cried my eyes out for like months and months. Every day I was a mess. And finally I said, I have to do something. And that's when I started my channel. Granny Paula says, hi, Stuart. Hi, Dashers. Gitten says, exactly, Granny Paula. Paula says, hi, Paula and Mudlarks. Colleen says, hi, Granny. Paula says, hi, Mudlarks. Paula says, hi, Gitten. West Country says, hi to Paula. Paul says, hi, Granny. Paula says, hi, Paul. Paul and Paula. Tiny says, thanks to everyone that subscribed to my channel. Paula says, hi, Tiny. Someone says, you're welcome, Tiny. Stuart says, Kelly, I hope you know how much you and your channel mean to us. Oh, thank you, Stuart. Thank you for that. You guys all mean this, so much to me. Lisa says, it would be something to wake up and see Daisy and Max playing Scrabble. How cute. Shearber says, good morning to Stuart. Tiny says, West. Tina says, oh, so Granny, we had a morning storm during a heat wave. Bushka's here. Hi, Bushka. Bushka says, hi, Daisy May. Hello, Bushka. Everybody say hi to Bushka. You guys know Bushka. Hello, buddy. How's it going over there in Ireland? Shearber says, you have turned your channel to a beautiful community that we all feel safe and loved in. Oh, thank you, Shearbear. Shearbear, that is so sweet. Thank you. Tiny says, hi to West. Shearbear says, Bushka, good morning. Sonal's using emojis. Thank you, Sonal. Paula says, hi to Tina. Sonal says, good morning, Bushka. Bushka says, good morning, everyone, and Shearbear. Paula says, hi, Bushka. Tina says, I was sleeping through that. Peter says, thanks for the fun live stream, my friends. Thank you, Peter. Peter, thank you for being here. Half Empty says, happy birthday to Larry. Yeah, happy birthday, Larry. Paula says, Ireland, yes. Bushka's in Ireland, everybody. Paula says, hello to Half Empty. Tiny says, hi, Bushka. Paula says, hello, handmade and homegrown. Billy Orbago says, I got to run. I have to water the garden and the dogs before the sun gets to it. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Billy Orbago. You have a great day too, buddy. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Everybody say bye to Billy Orbago. So this is when people say I buy subs. I don't see even how to do that. I know. How do you buy subs? I have no idea. I just let it happen. Right? I just let it happen. People want to, be a subscriber to the channel. I welcome you with open arms. If you don't, you want to just view and just, scroll through. I welcome that too. I welcome the members. I welcome everybody. Tiny says, hey, half empty. Gitten says, hi, Bushka. Bushka says, hey, Sonal. Shearber says, hi, half empty. Paula says, you too, Billy Bago. Sonal says, take care, Billy Bago. Bushka says, hi, Granny Paula. Darren's here. Hi, Darren. Darren says, good morning. Good morning, Darren. How are you? I'm Martin. Hey, I'm Martin. Welcome back. What up, Martin? Good to see you again. Handmaid says, I agree, Share Bear. Kelly, you pour love and kindness into everyone here. Oh, thank you, Handmaid. I really try. I really try. Paula says, good morning to Darren. And hello, I'm Martin. Handmade and Homegrown says, hello, Paula. Darren says, happy birthday, Larry. Happy birthday, Larry. Lisa's using emojis. Thank you, Lisa. Bushka says, hi, Tiny. I'm Martin says, hi, Paula. Bear says, good morning, Daisy May. Good morning, Bear. Good morning. Friends of Dasher says, Stuart, I sub to you. Oh, you'll love Stuart's channel. He's fantastic. Abigail says, I subscribe to everyone. Thank you, Abigail. Bushka says, hey, getting. Tina says it's supposed to be in the afternoon. It's not looking too good, Tina. Someone says, Stuart, I subbed and left a comment. Abigail says, hi, Bushka. Someone says, hello, Darren. Coffee cake emoji. Or no, coffee cake loving Bish is here. She says, good morning. Hello, coffee cake. How are ya? Abigail says, I love your coffee. Someone says, hello, Martin. Martin says, hi, Miss Daisy. Hi, Martin. Tiny says, hi, half empty. Granny Paula says, morning coffee cake loving Bish. Bushka says, hi, Abigail. Martin says, happy birthday, Larry. Happy birthday, Larry. Abigail says, hi, half empty. Coffee cake says, happy birthday, Larry. Happy birthday, Larry. I hope it's a good day for you. I hope it's a great day. Peter says, hi to Bushka. Stuart says, thank you, friends of Dashers and more. Tiny says, Bushka, are you Russian? No, he's from Ireland. Abigail says, hi, coffee cake. Sonal says, hello, coffee cake. Tiny says, caffeine. Lisa says, hi, coffee cake. Friends of Dashers and more. Colleen's using emojis. Thank you, Colleen. Friends of Dashers and more. Colleen, thank you for being here, young lady. How are you? Coffee cake says, hi, Granny Paula. Abigail says, hi, coffee cake. Sonal says, she's the strong coffee cake that never melts. She's the sweet coffee cake. Tina says, Granny, there's maintenance. Chrome and Sonar are both going to stop it. Tiny says, runs to caffeine and hugs her. High caffeine. Bushka says, hey, happy birthday, Larry. Coffee Cake says, hi, Abby to the gal. Bushka says, hey, Peter. Hey, Peter. Martin says, hit the like button. Oh, hit the like. Oh, we would very much like for you to basically go right ahead and hit the like. Thank you, Martin. That's so cute. Coffee Cake says, hi, Sonal, LOL. Sewer says, thank you, Sonal. Friends with Dashes and More says, Colleen, I'm not feeling well today. You're not feeling well? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that, Colleen. I hope you feel better. Someone says, I don't know if true, if this is true, but I heard if someone keeps an Irish clover, you get good luck. Yes. Yes, that's true, Sonal. Coffee Cake says, what's up, Sarge? Friend of Dashes and More says, throat. Oh, you have a sore throat? Etc. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better, Colleen. Sonal sending prayers to Colleen. Thank you, Sonal. Martin says, always a pleasure, ma'am. Thank you, Martin. You're so cute. Tina says, I like potato fries. Me too. I'm a French fry connoisseur. Friend of Dashes and More says, thank you, Sonal. Coffee Cake says, hi, I'm Martin. Colleen says, thank you. You're welcome, Colleen. I really hope you feel better. Tina says, Chrome-tastic. I'm Martin says, hi, Coffee Cake. Tina says, my caffeine. Coffee Cake says, hi, Tina and Dashers. Bear says, friends of Dashers and More, hope you feel better. Thank you, Bear. I'm Martin sent a birthday cake. Thank you, I'm Martin. That's a four-leaf clover, Sonal. Four-leaf clover. There you go. That's right, Zed. Believe in the power of the four-leaf clover. Right on. Someone gives a thumbs up. I'm Martin says, hi, Zed. Shibber says, I'm Martin and Zed, good morning. Friends of Dashers and More says, hi, Shibber, thank you. Someone says, Zed, gotcha. Coffee Cake says, hi, Zed. Vacation family's here. Hey, vacation family, welcome in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We say hi to vacation family. Lisa says we're ready for Scrabble. Yeah, there's some more Scrabble ones coming out too. I also have one that's going to be a couple I think I did with crossword puzzles. Keep watching for those emoji pick polls. They come out every single day at midnight. And I already have them scheduled into September. Yes, I'm working very hard. Use those emojis. Martin says, hey, Bear. Tiny says, like and subscribe to May. Thank you, Tiny. Color My World says, looks like a beautiful day in Florida. Hello, everyone. Hey, Color My World. Hey, Darren, welcome back. Zed says, hey, Martin and Coffee. Someone says, I sometimes get called out for misinformation. Just wanted to make sure. I would never do that, Sonal. Sometimes we sometimes we make a mistake or we post the wrong date or the wrong time or the wrong event, but it's never intentional. So I would never ever call you out for anything like that. We all make mistakes. Everybody has to realize that we're all human beings. And as human beings, we make mistakes. We do things wrong. We do things the wrong way. We say the wrong thing. We hurt ourselves. We are mean to ourselves or um, whatever the case may be. We are not perfect people, none of us. So, you know, I would never call anybody out for any stupid stuff like that. So, don't you worry, Sonal. It'll never happen here. Peter says, I can't believe I've got 3 new subscribers in a row and a membership feels like a celebrity. Peter, that's just so cute. I love that, Peter. You're a celebrity in our eyes, Peter. Yes, you are. Sherbert says, coffee, cake, love, and bish. Color my world vacation family. Hi. Sherbert says, Peter Harper. Aw, that's awesome. It is. I know it. That's so sweet, Peter. So sweet. Someone says, hello, color my world. Sherbert says, Peter, I sub with this channel too. I swear I was, but I'm still with the other one too. I know, Sherbert, right? I hate when that happens. Martin says, I get pulled up for this stuff all the time. Yeah, no, you know what? It's fine. I don't worry about that stuff. Zed says, hey, Shipper, how's it going? Martin says, to make mistakes is human. Yes, Martin, to make mistakes is human. And there's some people out there who think that they are so much better than everybody else, that they don't make mistakes, that they're, this perfect person. And they're not. Believe me, they're not. Nobody is perfect. Nobody. We're all equals. We're all human beings. Nobody's better than anybody else. So everybody give yourselves a hug because everybody deserves the love and the hug today. Sad says, I like turtles. I like turtles too. There is a turtle emoji, isn't there? You guys, let me know if there's a turtle emoji. I thought I made one. Let me know. Sonal says, I will never call anyone out either. Thank you, Sonal. You know what, Sonal? You're so sweet and so kind. When I rewatch your live streams or if I'm in your live streams, you are so sweet to everybody. You are very warm and very welcoming on your live streams. Everybody check out Sonal. It's all about freedom. Martin says, those people are projecting. They are. They are projecting. And I think that's one thing I like about so many people on my channel. Excuse me. And so many people that I follow on their channels are the people who are real. The people who don't pretend to be perfect. The people who are kind of goofy and fun and they make mistakes and they laugh and they cry. And those are the people I love. The people who are real. Shibber says, I just checked and wasn't subbed with this channel for Zed too. I'll check everyone. Thank you, Share Bear. Seti's here. Hi, Seti. Welcome, Seti. Tiny says there's no such thing as perfect. No, there's not. There's not. But some people think they are perfect. And they tend to look down on other people, thinking that they're, way up there on that pedestal. But they're not. Shibber's using emojis. Martin says accountability goes a long way. Accountability. That's another thing. Accountability. Own up to your mistakes, guys. I was in a live stream last night where the person was talking about things that they have done wrong. And it made me sad, to be honest with you, because this person was beating themselves up over things that they've done. And there's no sense in that. Nobody's perfect. Everybody screws up. Everybody makes a mistake. You know what? You get up, you shake yourself off. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to brush myself off and I'm going to keep moving forward. And that's what this person is doing right now. And I'm so proud of that person for doing this. I want that person to know that I am with them 100%. And so are many people who are in the chat right now. They know who they are. Hi, Steady. Welcome. Peter says, I'm a very famous supporter, Share. A lot of people around the world know my name. Peter's famous, everybody. I love you, Peter. Share says, hi, Seti. Seti says, hello, everyone. Sono says, hello, Seti. Seti says, hello, Peter. Sono says, thanks. Thank you, Sono. Nobody really said, I lost my job. What? Nobody really lost your job? For real? Steady says, hello, Share Bear. Nobody really. Steady says, hello, Sono. Share Bear says, nobody really. Hi. Says, turtle. Let me check out that turtle. That's not a turtle. That's a parade. That's a parade. Let me look and see. Do I have a turtle? Not sure. Steady says, nobody really. Hello. Martin says, welcome in my lives anytime, ma'am. Thank you, my Martin. Let me go check right now and make sure I have your bell on for all. And I will be in your lives. Absolutely, positively. All right. Let's see where we are now. Anne's here. Hold on. Where was I? Tiny says, hi, nobody really. Steady says, hi, Martin. Nobody says, hello, Share Bear. ST and Tiny. Sono says, hello, nobody really. Zed says, emoji. Thank you, Zed. Seti says, hi, Tiny. Hello. Martin says, hi, Tiny. How are you, sister, says Seti. Tina says, hi, Seti. Martin says, yeah, own it. Tiny says, thanks, nobody really. Paul says, I'm still here. Zed says, I was trying to make you sad. You and I are going to have a little talk. I'm really proud of you, though. I really am. Trying to turn things around. That's all you could do, and keep trying. Tiny says, hi, Z and J. Martin says, emojis. Nobody really says, I need to get my phone bill turned back on and pay for a new phone screen. Uh-oh. That don't sound good. Ann says, hello. Did I miss everything? Hi, Ann. Welcome back, Ann. Someone says, hello, Ann. Martin says, hi, Ann's place. Hooray. Hey, how you doing? Tina says, hi, Martin. Ann says, hi, Sonal. Ann says, hi, Martin. Bushka's using emojis. Thank you, Bushka. Tiny says, hi, Anna. It's Ann. Share Bear says, using emojis. Thank you, Share Bear. I'm Martin using the turtle. Thank you, Martin. Paul says, hi, nobody really. Hi, Ann's place, and hi, Zed. Ann says, hi, Zed. Hi, Paul. Bushka. Bushka says, hi, Ann. Paul is using turtles. Ann says, hi, Granny Paula. Bushka says, hi, Martin. Ann says, hi, Share Bear. Bushka says, hey, nobody really. I, Martin says, Miss Daisy has such a nice voice. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Martin. You wouldn't have, that was so nice a little while ago when I was blubbering all over the place. Thank you, Martin. Lisa says, hi, Ann. Bushka, I, Martin says, hey, Bushka, hello there. Ann says, hello, Lisa. Bushka says, hey, Zed's place. I, Martin says, hi, Lisa. Bushka says, hi, Paul. Tiny says, you have a turtle. It's the one with the beach sunset. Thank you. Matthew says, hi, everyone. Hello, Matthew. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ann says, hi, Matthew. Paul says, hi, Bushka. Bushka says, hi, Matthew. Zed says, hello, Tiny. Sergeant Kayla. And there's a link. Thank you, Zed. Matthew says, hi, Ann. Matthew, how are you today? Welcome, welcome, Matthew. Give us your statistics. How's things going? Matthew says, hi, Ann, and hi, Bushka. Tiny says, hi, Zed. Peter Harper says, hi, Matthew. How's it going? Matthew. Matthew's also working on his channel like all of us. Excuse me, not all of us. Like most of us are working on this channel. He is also. And it says it's 35 degrees here today. We're burning. What's 35? Tina says, hi, Matthew. Sharebear says, Andy. Ann's place, Maddie, Matthew, Magnetic North High. Lisa's using cookies. Lisa's passing out cookies. Thank you, Lisa. Matthew says, I'm doing great. Awesome, Matthew. Zed says, hi, Ann, Paula, and Bushka. Martin says, how the hell are you? How? I think Martin's saying, how is everybody? How is everyone? Ann says, it's 95. Okay, 95. Yeah, that's pretty hot, Ann. Yeah, that's pretty hot. Pretty warm. Paula says, oh, Ann, that's hot. Matthew says, hi, Share Bear. 35 equals 95. Yowza. Tiny says, I'll be back. Bushka says, hey, Lisa smiles a lot. Seti says, hi, Daisy. Hi, Seti. Welcome. Granny Paula says, hey, Zeds, how you doing? Seti says, hi, Shibber. I'm Martin's laughing. Seti says, hi, Bushka. Shibber says, hi, Seti. Matthew Fields says, my watch hours are 13:53. Awesome, Matthew. You're getting there slowly but surely. You're almost halfway to 3. Sandy says, hi, Granny Paula. Peter says, I smell cookies, and here I am. Good morning together, right? I want cookies. Lisa is always making us fresh Troll House cookies. Thank you, Lisa. Seti says, hi, Granny Paula. Oh, I got that. Seti says, hi, Tenny. Seti, excuse me. Bushka says, my friend Seti, hey, hey. Seti says, hi, Martin. Sherber says, Peter Pan, good morning. Peter Pan? Peter Pan? I smell cookies, and here I am. Good morning. That was Peter Pan. I thought it was Peter Harper. Peter Pan, hey. Hey, Peter Pan. Welcome. I'm sorry about the mix-up. Bushka says hi to everybody. Hi to my friend Seti. Shibber says, good morning, Peter Pan. Paul says, we are 86 at 9:40, the last day of the heat wave. Oh, good. I wish we would cool down a little, but I know we won't. Good, Paula. I'm glad to hear it's the last day. Seti says hi to Ann's place. Martin says, join me for a nice cold beer. A nice cold beer. There you go, Martin. Ann says, and zero humidity, so it's burning. You don't want the humidity on top of it. It makes it worse. Try to stay cool and stay inside. Seti says hi to Peter Harper. Paula says hello, Seti. Seti says hi, Peter Pan. Martin says hi, Seti. Matthew says my sub count is 1459. 1459. Matthew, look at that. Amazing. Paula says hi, Stuart Tingley. Hi, Matthew Fields. Seti says thanks very much, my sister. I pray to God to grant you everything you desire and good health and happiness throughout your life. May God bless you. Seti, thank you. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much. Very, very kind and sweet of you. He says, and Ann must be outside. That's why it's so hot. Ann, are you outside? Granny Paul says, oh, Seti, thank you. And right back to you. Right on. Matthew says, hi, Granny Paula. Seti says, hi, Lisa and Granny Paula. Okay. Bushka says, hey, Peter Pan. Tiny says, I'm back. Welcome back, Tiny. Paula says, bring on the cold front. Don't you wish you could have like snow one day and heat one day and then a rain one? Like, couldn't you just, wouldn't it be great if you could just make your own weather every day? Is that coming in the next world? Who knows? Stuart says hi to Granny Paula. Lisa says, I'm on the way, Peter. Peter Pan. Peter Pan says, hello, Bushka. Anne says, no, Lisa, that's inside. I don't want to know how much is outside. Anne, you have 95 inside? Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry. Stuart says hi. Steady says hi to Stuart Tingley. Peter Pan says, you're too kind, Lisa. Steady says, Granny Paula, you send the link. Tiny says, I'm trying to reply to everyone. Peter Harper says, hi, Peter Pan. Peter and Peter. Peter squared. Lisa says, hi, Seti. Joe Wrestling. Hey, Joe. We say hi to Joe Wrestling. Joe Wrestling put me in his Hall of Fame, you guys. Go over and check out Joe Wrestling's channel. And while you're there, go in the post tab and you'll see that he made me a Hall of Famer. Thank you, Joe Wrestling. How are you, buddy? Bushka says, hi, Stuart. Matthew says, I wish I could control the weather, right, Matthew? I want a snow day today, so I'm just going to make it snow. And then the next day, I want a beach day today, so let's make it sunny and not too hot, but let's go to the beach, right? Tiny says, it sounds like American weather, May. Tiny says, hi, Joe. Stuart says, hi, Seti. Right on. Oh, I was just going to go back outside, but you know what? I hear them trimming now. Now they're doing trimming. So I guess we're going to be inside for a while longer. Stuart says, hi, Seti. Zed says, went outside, looked for something to pour. Got bit by fire ants and mosquitoes. Oh, no. Are you scratching all over the place now? I have a fire ant story I'll tell you one day. Joe Wrestling says, you are welcome, and I'm doing wonderful, Daisy, and hello, Tiny. Joe Wrestling, everyone say hi. Ann says, I could put the air conditioner on, but I don't want to run up the electric bill, so I'm early in the summer. Right? I hear, and you might have to, though. You might have to just do it and just leave it on for a little while. That's uncomfortable. Indoors, that's uncomfortable. Lisa says, "Hey, Joe." Joe says, "Hi, Lisa." Oh, Ann, I think I told you I ran your playlist all night, Ann. Shearbear says hi to Joe. So does Bushka. Ralph's here. Hi, Ralph. Ralph, how are you? 90 in Augusta. What? Ah, dude, try to stay cool, okay? Zed says, Yuppers. Yeah. Yuck. He's scratching all over the place. Take a shower. Sometimes that helps. Like to get their whatever they put on you off. It might help with the itching. Sometimes a shower helps for that. Peter says hi, Joe. Stuart says hi, Bushka. Joe says hello, Share Bear and Bushka. Bushka says hi, Ralph. Ralph's here, everybody. Joe says hello, Peter. And Lisa says that was sweet, Joe. You guys are all so sweet. Yeah, Joe's wonderful. Joe says thank you, Lisa. Ann says thanks, Kelly. My new story's up today when you have time. Yep. And I still want to rewatch your chit chats because, like I said, I put them on my TV usually, and I don't see a chat. So I'm gonna go back and rewatch those. Uh, I already scheduled to put up my next week's story. Whoa, Ann, you are way on top of it. Can you help me, Ann? I need a little helping hand. Matthew says it's hot everywhere, right? Peter says hi, Stuart. Ralph says hey, Bushka. Matthew says we're in a heat dome. Yep, that's what they're calling it, a heat dome. You know what we have, you guys? Stay right there, Daisy. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna show you what we have. Okay, we're in Florida. We're in South Florida. We're near Fort Lauderdale and Miami, way down in Florida. Watch what we have. Look at. We have 80. We have 80 degrees, you guys. Look at that. We're cooler than you guys. Sorry. We have 80 degrees and rain. It's raining, you guys. It's raining. It's a very light rain. It's okay. I don't mind the rain. All right, let me catch up. Heat dome, yes. Lisa's got more cookies. Thank you, Lisa. Everybody, there's Troll House cookies for everyone. Put them on your channel. A Tiny says it's 64 in Poland. Anne says, yes, I can just email me what you want. I need someone to help me with my comments. I can't keep up with the comments on my channel. I try every day. I try. I am so far behind in commenting on people's comments. Thanks, Anne, for the offer. You're so sweet. Zed says, was thinking about pouring. Won't be able to pour for weeks because of the rain. Oh, okay. I got you, Zed. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I love how you're getting back into your art. Last night, when you talked about your art, you could hear it in your voice. There was a change when you talked about your art. So I think that's a good thing for you. That's a good thing for you, Zed. Bushka's using emojis. Thank you, Bushka. Said he says, Granny Paula, I'm looking for it, but I can't find it. Can you send me the link? Bev says, hi, Daisy. Hi, Bev. Welcome, Bev. How are you? Welcome. Seti says, hi, Zed's place. Stuart says, good morning, Peter Harper. Tiny says, come see me in Poland. Joe says, hello, Bev. Seti says, hi. Bev says, hi, Joe. Hi, Tony. I think she means Tiny. Tiny says, hi, Bev. Ann says, be right back, nature, screaming at me. Romulo, welcome. This is Florida. Romulo, where are you at? We are in Florida, USA. Sherbert says, hi, Bev. Matthew says, it's 93. 93. And we have 80. Peter Pan says, thank you, Lisa. Says, whoa, that sounds terrible. Get checked by a doctor. Oh, it's a weed whacker. Yes, that's why I came inside. Weed whacking and mowing going on. Bev says, hi, Share Bear. Share Bear says, LOL, Zed. Sandy says, hi, Bev. Bushka says, we have light rain here in Ireland, too. Oh, nice, Bushka. Sandy says, hi, Share Bear. Share Bear says, 61 likes. What? Thanks for the love, everyone. She also says hi, Seti. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bev says hi, Seti. Martin says hi to Bev. Lisa says just hit 94. Oh my God, Lisa. Stay cool, everybody. Stay cool. Bushka says hi, Bev. Zed says got plenty to make, so I just sleep the day away. uh, you're a funny guy, Zed. You are a funny guy. I hope people take the time to get to know Zed from Zed's Place because he could use some loving right now. But he also is a very funny and witty guy, very caring guy. Zed puts on this big, hard, macho guy exterior, but he is that. But on the inside, he's also sweet and kind. Bev says hi, Bushka. Seti says happy birthday to Larry. Happy birthday, Larry. Zed says hi, Seti. Bev says hi, I'm Martin. Joe says hello, Zed. Stuart says a very simple and effective way to keep cool inside or out is to soak a bandana with cold water and tie it around your neck. Just repeat it when it starts. It does work, Stuart. It does. My mom made me these. She called them heat necklaces, and what they were, it was material, and inside the material were these like jelly things, and they held the water. So you would put this necklace thing in a bowl of water. It would soak up the water in the refrigerator, and then you put it around your neck. And when it dried out, you redid it. So she made me a set of two, and I could always wear one. But guess what? They broke. I used them too much, and they they broke. And now, like now, when I ask her, she doesn't remember that she even ever made them. So I'm SOL. But yes, a bandana also works very well, Stuart. Hi, Martin says hi, Joe. Martin says hey, Stuart. Joe says hello, Martin. Tiny says it's 64 and raining here and really cold. I'm wrapped up in blankets. Sorry to hear that, Tiny. Sonal says that is awesome. He is awesome. Stuart said hi, Martin. Said do not take that back. I'm not taking it back. No way. I'm on to you. Gibber says that is very talented to love his sculptures. His sculptures are beautiful. And he's got names for them all. And when you hear the name, that's exactly what the sculpture looks like. Really cool stuff. Zed says hi, Joe. Bev says hi, Zed. Sonal says hello, Joe and Bev. Joe says hey, Sonal. So does Bev say hey, Sonal. Excuse me, everybody. I gotta get some water. Anthony Chihuahua. Anthony says good morning, Daisy Main. Everyone, hi, Anthony. Happy birthday wishes to Larry. Thank you, Anthony. How are you, buddy? And how's beautiful Radar? Everybody say hi to Anthony and his beautiful dog, Radar. Thanks for being here, Anthony. Someone says hello, Anthony. So does Joe Wrestling say hi, Anthony. I'm Martin says I subbed to Tiny. Kay. Bev says hey, Anthony. Someone says Zed did too. LOL. Bushu says good morning, Anthony. Tiny K says thank you, Martin. I'm Martin says hydrate, ma'am. Yes, hydrate. I have to get my water. Bev says sub to Anthony. Ann says wow, that's so cool. Put the aircon on. Awesome, Ann. I'm Martin says pleasure, Tiny. Lisa says hey, Anthony and Radar. Anthony says hey, Joe, Bev, Sonal, and Bushka with love hearts. Bev says sub to Ann's place. Yeah, my water's outside. I'm going to run and grab it. Hold on, guys. Looks like they're almost done over here. When I came in, I only brought my tea, not my water. All right. Bev says sub to you, Ann's place. Anthony says thanks, Bev. We'll return the kindness. Sherbert says hi, Anthony. Ann's place says hi, Bev. Matthew says I now have 1460. There you go, Matthew. One at a time. That's how you build the channel. One subscriber at a time. Do it organically. You don't have to go out there and try to, jump up your sub count. Because honestly, some of the channels who have a big sub count, watch their videos, watch their shorts, watch their live streams. They might have a huge number for their sub count, but their subs are not watching their content. And there's a huge difference in that. I want my friends and family here to watch my content. I want you to see what I post. I think they'll like this. I think they'll laugh at this. I think they'll cry at this. I think they'll be amazed at this. That's what I look at when I post content. Good, Matthew. That's awesome. Tiny says hi, and Sherbert says, "Woohoo, Matthew! Yes, Matthew, you're getting there, buddy boy. You're getting there. Keep working on those watch hours." Anthony says, "Hey, Lisa." Hi, Lisa smiles a lot. I like that, Anthony. Bab says, "Hi, Matthew, and well done." Said, "I wish I was as funny as that Anthony guy." Anthony's pretty funny. He is funny. You're funny too, Zed. Though you have comedy to you. Someone says, "Zed, you know we all love you. We do." Zed says, "Hi, Bev." Anthony says, "Grandma Shearbear, good morning." I Martin says, "One moment while our kindness takes a drink." Thank you. One moment while our kind host takes a drink. Thank you, Martin. I did take a drink. Thank you for the pause. Lisa's using emojis. Thank you, Lisa. Someone's all about freedom says, Matthew, congratulations. Yeah, congratulations, Matthew. I remember way back when you first came around, Matthew. You're so gung ho. You're still so gung ho. And I love that you have so much energy. And you are doing it, Matthew. You are building your channel and people are loving you. I love that too. Anthony says, "Did I see Peter Harper in here? That's my guy." Yes, Peter was here a couple times. He's also playing tennis. Yes, he's a new member. As of today, he got a free membership. And says, "Kelly, unplugged my webcam again. I hear coughing and chair scraping when it's on, same as before." Oh, okay. I wonder what that's about, Ann. Tiny says, "Do you have an easier name to say, Ann? Anth. Oh, Anthony? We call him Anthony." Martin says, "I film the pigeons who come to my window." Nice, Martin. That's cool. Ann says, "I have carpets on my floor, so it's not coming from me." Huh, Ann. Yeah, I don't know anything about all that tech stuff. Anthony says, "AC is easy." Yes, you can call him AC. Right on. Stacy calls him AC. Yep. Joel Wrestling says, "I sub to you, Martin." Anthony says, "Zed, what are you talking about?" Shearber says, "Anthony at Love Hearts." Someone's using emojis. Zed says, "Anthony makes me laugh. Thank you. I need to laugh. Best medicine." You're right. Laughter is the best medicine, you guys. Yes. Laugh at everybody's jokes. Laugh at, when people are trying to make you laugh. Have a good laugh. Have a good chuckle. Magnetic North says, "Hi, Lee, I thought you were leaving, buddy." Magnetic North Adventures is back. He says, "Hi, Shearber. Hi, Joe." Tiny says, "Okay, AC." Anthony says, "Aw, thanks, Zed." Shearber says, "I remember when Matthews first started, too. One day he'll be famous. I can say I was there for, right? I knew you were, I knew him when. I knew her when. That's right." Magnetic North says, "Hi, Anthony." Tiny says, "Hi, North." Joe Wrestling says, "Hi, Magnetic." Lee says, "Hi, Ann." Martin says, "Joe, I sub back." Bushka says, "Hi, Lee." Shearber says, "I sub to Martin." Lee says, "Hi, Matthew." Hi, Bushka. Lee, you're back. Welcome back, buddy. Someone says, "Peter Pan likes my no I dear jokes. I need to make more dear jokes." All the jokes are fun, you guys. I love all the jokes. Bev says, "Hi to Magnetic." Lisa sent coffee and tea, it looks like. Or milk. Coffee and milk. I'm Martin says, "The force is strong with the host." Thank you, Martin. West Country says, "Hey, Shearbear." Magnetic North says, "Hi to Martin." Matthew Field says, "Hi, Magnetic." Bev says, "Hi, Lisa." Shearbear says, "Hi, West Country." Anthony says, "Joe, we'll go subscribe to you later." We left a comment for Daisy May Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. I'm in Joe Wrestling's Hall of Fame, you guys. I love it. Elise says, "I came back for a bit." Thank you, Lee. Welcome back. Shipper says, "Hi to Lee." I'm Martin says, "Whoa, yeah, I'm tough." Ann says, "It means someone hacked me and is watching. Unplug the cam so they can't." What? Oh, wow, Ann. I don't know any of that stuff. I'm glad I have you guys to teach me stuff because I don't know that stuff. West Country says, "Hey, Lee." Magnetic says, "Hi, Bev." Peter Pan says, "Sonal, your jokes are very funny." They are funny, Sonal. You're a funny dude. You're fun. I love you. Martin says, "Hi to Magnetic." Lee says, "Hi, West Country." Joe says, "Oh, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it." Magnetic North Adventure says, "Hi, Peter." West Country Mudlark says, "Hi, I'm Martin." Melly Dons is here. Melly says, "Good morning, Miss Daisy." Hello, Melly Dons. Everybody say hello to Melly Dons. Lovely lady, lovely family. Bushka says, hi, Mudlarks. I'm Martin to Shearber. Are you subbed, my dear? Zed's place is my brother's name is Anthony. Should have been Richard. I don't know if you mean it the way I read it, Zed, but Sonal says, Peter Pan, I try. Shearbear says, Sonal, Daisy May, I was lurking in your lives last night. Was just too tired to comment, but I liked. Thank you, Shearbear. And Shearbear, don't worry about it. If you can't be there, it's no problem at all. If you everyone can you if you can make it, you want to make it, I thank you so much and I welcome you. But if you can't make it, it's okay. I totally understand. West Country says, hey there, Bushka. Anthony says, I sub to Joe. Bev says, I sub to Magnetic North. Shearber says, thank you, Martin. Melly Dons is sending love hearts. Thank you, Melly. I'm Martin says, hi, West Country. Shearber says, hi, Melly Dons. Lisa says, hi, Bev. Sonal says, Matthew, I'm playing your playlist today. Thank you, Sonal. Magnetic North Adventures. Oh, thanks, Bev. Leave a comment, it will stick. Sonal says, hello, Melly. So does Magnetic North say, hi, Melly. Melly says, hi, Shearbear. Carissa. Carissa's here too. Carissa and Melly. Hi, guys. Hi, ladies. Hello, Carissa. How are ya? Anne says, oh, Kelly, my pumpkin plant has produced 9 pumpkins. Anne's growing pumpkins, you guys. Awesome, Anne. Congratulations. I grew pumpkins way back in the day when my kids were babies. When they were little kids, we grew pumpkins so they could carve them in the fall. That's so cool, Anne. Awesome. Shearbear says hi to Carissa. Bushka says, Miss Daisy May, I asked my dog what 2 minus 2 is. He said nothing. I love that, Bushka. Thank you, Bushka. That's awesome. Someone says hello to Carissa. Shearbear says, Anne, that's awesome. It is. Anne's got 9 pumpkins, you guys. Thank you, Bushka. That is a good one. Granny Paula says, Anthony Chihuahua, good morning. Joel Wrestling says, hello, Melly Dons. Magnetic North Adventures says, hi, Carissa. Granny Paula says, hi, Magnetic. Bushka says, hi, Melly. Tiny says, a lot of people are subbing to me. Granny Paula says, hi, Joe. Magnetic North Adventures says, morning, Paula. Ann says, LOL, Bushka. Bev says, hi, Carissa. Sono says, hi, Bushka, LOL. Magnetic North says, hi, Tiny. I'm Martin says, if you love Miss Daisy, drop a heart, people. Drop a heart. Thank you. Thank you, Martin. You are so sweet. Tiny says, hi, KY. Zed says, Ann, I finally got a laptop for the first time in 15 years. First thing I did was put electrical tape over the camera. Wow, I never knew that stuff, you guys. See, I don't know this stuff. Paula says, hi, Melly. Martin sending a love heart. Thank you, Martin. Lisa says, we found out that there are hidden cameras in big TVs. What? I have 2 big screen TVs. One in my bedroom, one in my living room. I need to find out about that stuff. Paula sending love. Thank you, Paula. Tiny says, hi, Don. Sono says, Bushka or Wolf minus Wolf equals Wolf. Bev says, I subbed to Tiny. Anthony says, subbed and left a comment. Bev. Zed's place is, yes, you read Richard correctly. I know what you mean by that. I have a guy named Richard that lives downstairs. His real name is Charlie, but it should be Richard. Yep. Magnetic Door says hi to all in chat. Ann says, Zed, that's a good idea. Sonal says, LOL. Bushka says, hi, Carissa. Carissa says, how are you? She's good. How are you? I'm also good, Carissa. Thank you. Thanks for stopping in and saying hello to us. I'm Martin says, hi, I'm in the West Country. Mint Chocolate Chip says, hello again. Hi, Mint Chocolate Chip. Hey, welcome back, buddy. He says, how y'all doing? Welcome back, my friend. Anthony says, Granny Paula, good morning, dear Paula. Tiny says, okay, Bev, thanks. Carissa says, hi, guys. Hello, Carissa. Sonal says, welcome back, Mint and Lee. Mint Chocolate Chips says, hey, Anthony. Anthony says, Mint, morning to ya. Granny Paula says, hi, Mint. Martin's giving us a love heart. Thank you, Martin. Paula says, hey, Carissa. Sonal's using love hearts. Thank you, Sonal. Bushka's laughing out loud. Paul says, I'm still here. Thank you, Paul. Paul J, welcome, welcome, and thank you. Magnetic North 61 likes, you're all amazing. Thank you, everybody, for that love. Thank you. Melly says, hi, Paula. Granny says, wow. Lee says, hi, Magnetic. Nope. Magnetic North says, hi to Paul. Excuse me. West Country says, UK or USA. I'm Martin. Matthew says, I sub to Carissa. Melly says, happy birthday when Larry sings. Carissa says, oh, thank you so much. Zed says, LOL. Magnetic North says, thanks, Sonal, and hi again. Carissa says, I'll sub you too. Joe says, hey, mint chocolate chip balls. Anthony says, rarely up. And wow, what a chat room you have in the morning, Daisy May. Sometimes it's busy. Sometimes it's not. Thank you, Anthony. Welcome. Welcome, Anthony. Where was I? Moving and grooving is right. Moving and grooving. Matthew sub to Carissa. Melly says, Happy birthday, Larry. Carissa says, Thank you so much. Zed LOL. Thank you, Sonal. I'll sub you too, says Carissa. Joe Wrestling says, Hey, mint chocolate chip. Anthony's really up. There we go. A Capricorni. Yay, they are in everything. Alexi and Siri, cover them up in the bedroom if you have a smart TV. Thank you, Capricorni. Thank you. Joe says, Hello, Carissa. Rainy Paul says, Moving and grooving. I Martin says, He's called Richard. Rainy Paul says, Hi, Joe. Sonal says, Will the time ever slow down? No. Time does not slow down, you guys. Live your life. Have fun. And says, Yeah, Kelly, they can hack the latest microwaves on almost anything in your home. The only smart devices I have are TVs, and I'm going to look into that. Thank you guys so much. Capricorn says hello, and amid all chatters, wink, wink. Lee says, I wouldn't worry about cameras if you are worried. Their devices can check them. Thank you. Mint Chocolate Chip says, is it okay to throw out some trash? I see. Please, Kelly, we spoke this morning. West Country says, hi, Capricorni. Joe says, hi, Granny Paula. Lee says, hi, Capricorni. West Mudlark says, hi, Mint Chocolate Chip Balls. Zed says, exactly, Martin. Matthew Field says, I sub you, Capricorni. Lee says, hi, Larry. Tiny says, the rain is putting me to sleep. Anthony says, good morning from here to all. Thank you, Anthony. Good morning to you, buddy. Capricorn, he says, happy birthday to Larry. Carissa says, oh, I love to pop in, but I have to go to school. Thank you, Carissa. Thank you for stopping and saying hello to us. Hit that like button on your way in or your way out, everyone. Carissa, have a good day at school, okay? Paula says, hi, Capricorn. Mint Chocolate Chip says, hey, West Country. I Martin says, UK, England prevails. Shearber says, Capricorn. Good morning. Zed says, good morning. Welcome back, Mudlarks. Lisa smiles lots using emojis. Thank you, Lisa. Mint Chocolate Chip Ball says, hi, I'm Martin. I'm the UK here too. Lisa says, I've ordered fireworks for the 4th of July. Oh, how nice. I love fireworks, you guys. I love, love, love fireworks. West Country says, hey, Zed's place. Martin says, I'm an Englander. I'm in England, Angerland. Joe says, I sub to Carissa. Martin says, hi, Mint. Carissa says, bye. Hope you guys have a great day and night. Thank you, Carissa. Thank you, Carissa, so much. You have a great day too. Someone says, what do the fish use to wipe their fins? Carpet. They use carpet. Get it? Carpet. That's funny. Mid Chocolate Chip says, hi, Joe Wrestle. Andy says, subs for subs is often looked down upon, but that's part of YouTube. Great subbing, guys. Paul says, if you need a mod, I will be there for you, Miss Daisy. Someone says, hello, Capricorni. Zed says, what's going on? Mid Chocolate Chip Ball says, hi, Capricorni. Mid Chocolate Chip Balls says, hey, Sono. Melly Don says, hi. Magnetic North says, you can get banned if you say connection. Yeah. Just say you're going to be connected. Yeah. Melly Don says, subscribe to I Am Bushka. Zed says, what's going on? Joe Wrestling says, I sub to Melly Don's. West Country says, same here. I'm Martin. Mint Chocolate Chip Ball says, there's no blame to take Sono. There's a reason I blocked Tiny. And I explained to Kelly on Discord this morning. Tiny says, UK is full of limeys. I don't know what a limey is, that Tiny, but I'm removing that. Because, wait a minute. I did the wrong one. I did the wrong one, guys. Sorry. Richard, I don't know how to get. Hold on. I took off the wrong comment, you guys. Let me see if I can fix it on the phone. Hang tight, folks. Hang tight. Let me check. All right. Let's see if I can fix you, Richard. I didn't mean to do that. I'm Martin. Limey means English. Oh, I'm sorry. West Country says Devin. I'm Martin. Magnetic North says it. All right. Let me try to fix that. All right. Richard, I don't know how to fix it. I did not mean to delete Richard's comment. I apologize for that. Excuse me for that. All right, let me go get back in on the chat. All right. Sorry, Richard. What do we say earlier? Sometimes we have fat fingers, right? We touched the wrong thing, and I apologize for that. All right. West Country says apparently they are not making 12-inch rulers anymore. They're not? Nobody uses a ruler anymore? Ditto Zed. Martin says, West, which country? Tiny says they are fun. Martin says, Devon here. Dear old Devon. Devon. I like it. West Country says, Devon. I'm Martin. Martin says, Devon Bays. Martin says, Limey means English. Zed says, I'm going to go out. Oh, no. I am going to go look for outdated soup cans. Anyone want to join me? Mint chocolate chip balls. It's okay. I'm sorry, Richard. I did not mean to do that. Lee Magnetic North says, please keep the chat friendly. If problem in other room, don't bring it in here. If it's neutral. Yes. You guys, please don't bring the drama in here. Everyone here is to be nice and respectful. Mitch says, no problem. Tiny says, no, it's what they say about people in the UK because they put limes in their tea. I didn't know that. Martin says, I subbed to West Country. Shearbear's using emojis. Thank you, Shearbear. Deb's here. How are you, sister? Hey, Deb, welcome. Shearbear says, good morning to Deb. West Country says, no any longer. I get it. They're not making them any longer. West Country, I fell for that. You got me. King Anther is here. Hello, King. Welcome back. King says hello. Capricorn says, thank you, Matthew, for the sub. Anthony Chihuahua says, Malarkin, howdy. King Anther says, happy birthday, Miss Daisy. It's not my birthday, you guys. It's Larry. It's Larry's birthday when Larry sings. King Anther, say happy birthday to Larry. Melly Don says, sub to Joe Russell, and Capricorn is using emojis. Thank you, Capricorn. Tiny says, sorry, I'll explain it better next time. West Country says, oh, thank you, I'm Martin. King says, happy birthday, Daisy. It's Larry. Happy birthday, Larry. Joe Russell says, thank you, Melly Don and Capricorn. I sub to you too. Matthew says, I'm over here subbing. Martin says, Deb and Eb. Capricorn says, happy birthday when Larry sings. Yeah, we're going to pin that up. Because it kind of looks like I said it's my birthday, but I didn't. It's Larry's birthday. Magnetic North says, hi, Matthew. Martin says, we don't put lime in tea. Preposterous. No lime in the tea. Anthony says, hey, Matthew. Ann says, I love my chicks. They're super cute, but they're constantly pooping is not so nice. I was showing my husband your chicks yesterday. Matthew says, hi, Magnetic. Capricorn says, thank you, Joe. King says, oh, happy birthday, Larry. Happy birthday, Larry. Matthew says, hey, Anthony. Magnetic North says, hi to Deb. Doggy Media. I'd like to live there. Welcome, Doggy Media. Welcome. Magnetic North says, hi, King. Sharebear says, hi, Ann's Place. LOL. Martin says, lime in the tea? No, thumbs down. Sharebear says, Doggy Media and King Anther. Hello. Magnetic North says, hi, Orange Sharebear. West Country Mother says, happy birthday, Larry. Capricorn says, I am so new, so hello again. Wink, wink. Hi, Capricorn. Solon says, hello, Doggy Media. Joe Russell says, well, Daisy, I have to get going. I'll see you later. You and everyone stay cool and have a great Wednesday. Thank you, Joe Wrestling. Everyone say hello and goodbye to Joe Wrestling. Thank you, Joe, so much. And if you guys, if you go check out Joe Wrestling's channel, look under his post tab and you're going to see Daisy May channel is in his Hall of Fame. Thank you, Joe. Have a good day, buddy. Stardashians are here. Hey, Eric and Lee, how are you guys? Stardashians say, hey, Daisy. Martin says, England prevails. There you go. Chocolate Chip says, well, I'm sorry. I can't be in here with the certain person that's here. I'm off for now. Have a good day, guy. Oh, Richard, we need to talk, Richard, later on, okay? You go have fun. You go have fun. And don't leave because of anybody else. You leave because you want to leave, Richard. Don't leave because of anybody else. And says, Shearber, I removed them from my room to the enclosed balcony. Now I just can't stand when they're 3 weeks old. 3 weeks old, little babies. Lisa says, I am Martin. I heard milk and tea was a thing there. Capricorn says, what a beautiful sight there. I love seeing the water. Thank you. And says, I have super sharp smell sense. My mom does too. Well, I don't know if she still does, but she used to. My mother could smell anything, anywhere. King Anther says, I hope everyone's having a good morning. Thank you. I hope you are too. Doggy Media says, hello, everyone. Hello, Doggy Media. Martin says, yeah, I put milk in my tea. Yep. Stardation says, hello, everyone. Peter Pan says, milk in the tea is a very good thing, Lisa. Lisa says, Joe Russell, have a great day. Martin says, milk, no sugar. North Texas bird feeder Andrew. Hi, Andrew. I made it. He says, good morning, everyone. Everyone say hi to North Texas bird feeder Andrew. Hello, Andrew. So good to see you. Happy Wednesday, my friend. King Anther says, I need one more for 1.05. Anybody checking out new friends? Check out King Anther. Tiny says, Martin, that's just something they say. Don't take it personally. Shearber says, the Stardust good morning. Sonal says, take care of Richard. Mint Chocolate Chip Ball says, it's okay. It's not okay. I don't want you leaving unless you want to leave. I don't want you to leave because somebody else. I want you to leave because you have to leave or you want to leave, not because of somebody else. Share versus Mint Chocolate Chip Balls. Have a blessed day. Stardation says, hey, Share, hey, Mint. Martin says, Tiny K, they call us limeys because sailors from Britain used to eat limes to ward off scurvy. Thank you, Martin, for explaining that. That makes more sense. King Answer says, I am. Mint Chocolate Chip Balls. I just can't be in a chat with someone who was making up lies about me. It's nothing with you, Kelly. I love you and your channel. I love you, Richard, too. I love you, and I don't want you leaving because of somebody. I'm not going to let anybody talk bad about you here. I'm not going to let anybody talk bad about anybody here. It's not allowed. Shearber says, Mint Chocolate Chip Balls, love to you. Knuckle, blessed numbskull. Good morning, crazy lady. You know me too well, Knuckle. How are you, buddy? We say hi to Knuckle, blessed numbskull. Martin says, citrus fruit, vitamin C. That's right. Capricorn loves tea. Me too. Shearber says, Knuckle, blessed numbskull, North Texas bird feeder. Hey. Tiny says, hi, everyone that came in. West Country says, we are in Torbay. I'm Martin. West Country's in Torbay. King Arthur is smiling. Magnetic Door says, hi, Star. Knuckle says, hey, Sheer Bear. West Country says, hey, Knuckle Busted Numbskull. Doggy Media says, what part of the country is this? Doggy Media, this is Florida. This is East Coast Florida on the Atlantic side. Welcome in, Doggy Media. Knuckle Busted Numbskull says, hi, West Country. Sheer Bear says, King Arthur, I sub to you. Tiny says, hi, Skull. And says, Mint, I have such a person in another live. I like to visit, and what I learned is to just totally ignore that person. Indeed. Knuckle says, hi, Lee, and hi, Ann. Martin says, lime is for tequila slammers. Sonal says, hello, Knuckle. Ann says, hi, Knuckle. King Anther says, thank you, Sheer Bear. Melly says, under love hearts. Thank you, Melly. Martin says, tequila, then salt, then lime. There you go. Knuckle says, hey, Sonal. Deb says, many, many returns of the day, Larry. Happy birthday to you, my dear sister Larry. May God bless you. Stay happy and healthy. Have a sweet dreams. Thank you, Deb. Larry's a man, though, so he would not be a sister. Zed says, hey, Knuckle, maybe someday I won't be sleeping during the day and catch some of your lives. Knuckle Busted Numbskull has great lives, Zed. He's a lot of fun. It's on at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Martin says, I'm in Exeter. King Anther says, I made it. You made it. I really want to go to Florida. Not now. You want to come to Florida in the winter, not in the summer. Tiny says, indeed, Martin. Capricorn says, Canaveral. Nope. We are South Florida by Fort Lauderdale. Knuckle Busted Numbskull says, howdy's that? Doggy Media says, beautiful, but I worry about the weather. They're just saying, I worry too. West Country Mudlark says, oh, just up the road then. I'm Martin. Magnetic North Adventure says, please, second time, all drama left at the door when enter the room. This room is neutral. If a problem, just don't talk about said person. There's a difference. Thank you, Lee. Thank you. Thank you. Magnetic North says, hi, Knuckle. Zed says, hey, I just found they make a block button. They do make a block button. I don't know how to do it, though. Capricorn says, LOL, I just used to live in Cape Canaveral. Oh, nice. You lived in Cape Canaveral up north. Yeah. I've been to Port Canaveral. I've never been to Cape Canaveral. I would like to see it someday, though. Yes. Knuckle says, howdy's that? Doggy Media. Oh, yep. Magnetic North says, I'm in Derbyshire, England. Lisa Smiles lots of mint chocolate chip. You're a great person. Tell him to get stuffed. Martin says, Larry is short for Lawrence. Lawrence. Zed says, oh, I know, Knuckle. Anthony says, just return the kindness to those that subbed me. Thanks, everyone. King Anthony says, LOL, okay. Mint Chocolate Chip Ball says, I'm sorry, guys. If you knew the lies that was told about me, you would understand more. Yep. Nobody understands it unless they know, Richard, but I understand. And I love you. And I want you here. So please, please, please stay if you want to stay. Okay. Anthony says, great channels, everyone. Ann says, I have to love you and leave you all for now. That's how Ann works. She loves us and leaves us. She says, I got to go get that little buggers on the balcony and put them in their box for the night. They're going to make me run all over now. They small but fast. All right, Ann. Thank you, Ann, for being here. Catch the little chicks. Have a good night, Ann. Thank you so much for being here. I love you, girl. Says it, click the person's name in chat. Block, no problem. Click the person's name. It doesn't say block, though. It says replace pinned message. It says report, remove. Then it says channel activity, go to channel, remove as standard moderator, put user in timeout, and hide user on this channel. Oh, hide? It's the hide button. Okay. Thank you, Zed. Capricorn says it's beautiful there. Merritt Island. What's the place? Merritt Island. Yeah, beautiful. Sherbert says Ann's place. Have a blessed day. Anthony says Ann, hi and bye. King Anthony says I have a 1.052. There you go. You got a couple extra. Lisa's take care. Ann says, see, I just blocked Anthony. Don't block Anthony. Anthony says, how you guys type so fast so early in the morning? Capricorn, he says, hi, Ann. Magnetic North says, Mint, if you're still here, always welcome. Anthony Chihuahua says, who's Anthony, Zed? Lisa says, have a great day, Ann, or have a great night, Ann. Anthony's laughing. Tiny says, I'm going to leave soon. Thank you, Tiny, for being here. Mint Chocolate Chip Ball says, to me, I still know that person is in chat. I will still see everyone commenting on her name and we'll hear what she says, and I can't deal with it. Oh, I'm sorry, Richard. I'm sorry, Richard. You know how much I love you. Said Auntie say something? Someone's here. Someone's so fun. Matthew says, I 1461. There you go, Matthew. Got almost 10 more. Peter Pan says, Lisa, I'm sorry to ask, but I have some cookies left and no more milk. Could you share some milk with us again, please? Peter Pan. Everyone's having Troll House cookies. Troll House cookies. Shearbird says, I'm in chocolate chip ball, sending you some love. King says, nice, Matthew. West Country says, don't forget Magnetic North Adventures has a premiere in 3 hours and 40 minutes. Indeed. Everyone check out Magnetic North Adventures premiere this afternoon. Shearbird says, use an emoji. Thank you, Shearbird. Paul says, I'm still here. Thank you, Paul. Oh, Paul, that's so kind of you. Knuckle says, thanks, West Country. Magnetic North says, I have people who don't get in on my chat group, but both followed a long time. What difference between other states between them? I don't get involved. Yeah, I try not to get involved either. Yeah. Eventually it just blows over, right? It eventually just blows over. Shearbear sending emojis. Thank you, Shearbear. Tiny says, all right, I'm out. Bye, all. Bye, Tiny. Thank you for being here today. Magnetic North says, thanks, West Country. Sono says, Richard, I'm sorry about that. I'm Martin says, I'm off for now. Thank you for the subbies. Hey, Martin. Have a good day, buddy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your love, Martin. Appreciate you so much. Anthony says, see you, Tiny. See you, Martin. Martin says, laters. Oh, boy. Another guy that said laters like Zed. Laters. Later, Martin. See ya. Doggy Media said, I had this side urge to bring the construction workers pizza for lunch for their hard work, but I had to pull myself out of the idea because I need to focus on my own struggles. Well, first of all, that's a beautiful thought that you had, Doggy Media. That's a beautiful thought. And yeah, you know what? Focus on yourselves, guys. Let everyone get healthy mentally and physically. Wang Hang Ro. Hi, Miss Daisy. Can I get a shout out, please? Wang Hang Ro, welcome. And sure you can. Wang Hang Ro says, hi, Miss Daisy. Can I get a shout out, please? You certainly can. Welcome, welcome. Lisa's got milk for everybody. There's some for Peter. Peter Pan wants milk. There you go. Lisa gave you some. Thank you, Lisa. Magnetic North Adventures as I'm off. Also have a good day. And also used emojis. Thank you so much, Lee. Magnetic North Adventures. Everybody, I want you to check out Lee, my friend. Magnetic North Adventures. He's having a premiere today. It's 2 o'clock East Coast time, 7 o'clock UK time. Adjust your time accordingly. And thank you, thank you, thank you. King Anther YT. Miss Daisy, can I get a shout out, please? Of course you can. King Anther YT is in the chat. Everyone say hello. There you go. Sherbert says, Wang, Hang, Ro, hi. Sono. Sonal's given another oh my good, another donation. Sonal, thank you, buddy. You are so sweet. Sonal is just a kind, kind soul, you guys. Thank you so much, Sonal. Thank you, buddy. Knuckles says later, Lee. Peter Pan says, oh yeah, that's what makes the cookies even better. Thank you, Lisa. Wang Hang, because I only have 4 subs. What, did you just start? King Anther says, wow. Wang Hang Rose says, hi, Peter Pan. Lisa says, Peter Pan, I have Fruit Loops. I want Fruit Loops. Wang Hang Rose says, thank you, Miss Stacy. You are welcome. And thank you for being here. Zed says, I just changed my name. Troll people. Troll people. I love it. Peter says, hello, Wang Hang. King Anthy says, thank you, Daisy. You're welcome. King Anther says, welcome, Sonal. Big W, Sonal. Thank you so much, buddy. Sonal says, well deserved. You're so sweet. Wang Hang Rose says, hi, Sheer Bear. Paul J. Paul J, thank you so much for the donation, Paul. Wow, that is super kind of you. Sonal and Paul, thank you, guys. Very, very kind. Thank you, boys. Thank you so much, boys. It's so wonderful. Thank you, guys. Wang Hang says, yeah, new channel. Well, welcome. You're in the right place to make some new friends. Peter Pan says, oh, Fruit Loops. King Anther says, big W, Paul. Yes, thank you, Paul and Sonal. Thank you, guys. Lisa says, hello, Wang Hang. Sonal says, if you want Fruit Loops, just follow your nose. Yes, you follow your nose. Knuckles says, hi, Lisa. King Anther says, I love me some Fruit Loops. Paul says, you're welcome, Miss Daisy. Sonal's doing more memberships. What? Paul did 5 memberships. Do we have anybody left to be a member? King Anther, you got another one. Oh no, that was you saying thank you to Sonal. I'm sorry. Awesome, you guys. Wang Hang says, hi, Lisa. King Anther says, way to go, Sonal. Big W, big like Sonal. Sonal says, who's getting the memberships? Yeah, I don't know. They're coming up now. Sonal says, who's getting the memberships? King Anther says, LOL. Doggy Meaties, have a good day. Try to do one good deed per day. Keep God on your side. Refreshing chat. Awesome. Membership's full. Is it broken? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. We're going to keep it there until they show up. Lisa says, Wang Hang Road. Thank you. Auntie says, Sonal, great. Thank you, Sonal. I don't know where they are, though. Did they show up? King Anther says, Sonal, grateful. Yes. Sonal's wonderful. Thank you, Sonal. Wang Hang Rose says, hi. Thank you, Miss Lisa. Happened to me on another channel once. Never got a refund. You better get a refund if they don't show up. Yeah. I don't know where they are. Why would I've never seen that happen before? It's showing up. It's just not showing who they were. Lisa says you're welcome. And no membership. Yeah, what's going on? Well, he sent 5 gift memberships. Let's hope that somebody got them. Either way, you're welcome. Oh, so no, thank you so much. They need to show up. And if they don't show up, I would request a refund. West Country Mudlarks. Oh, thank you, buddy. Wow. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sono, I hope they show up. King Anther says West Country. Yeah, big W. Thank you, West Country. Thank you, Sono. Thank you, Paul. Wow, you guys. Jace earlier too, remember? Wow. Wow. I don't know what happened to them, Sono. It's very odd. Lisa says you deserve it more. Thank you, Lisa. My $5 donation didn't go through either. It didn't go through? Okay. As long as it didn't go through, I'm okay with that. Good, Sonal. Thank you. Wang Hang says, Hi, West Country. Toe? Toe, you look good today, Anthony. Hi, Toe. Camel Toe. I'm going to call you Toe, all right? Hi, Camel Toe. How are you? Welcome. King Anther says, hello, West Country Mudlarks. West Country. Thank you, West Country. Oh, my goodness, you guys. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Your kindness is just unbelievable. Thank you so much for your kindness, everybody. Shearbird says LMAO toe. I know. King Anthony says W West Country. Sonal says sorry, I shouldn't have said it. No, no, Sonal. I want you to say it. I want to know that. West Country says you do so much. We love you. Oh, thank you, West Country. I love you guys too. Lisa says, I wish I could send you something. Lisa, don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Anthony Mother times two. Zed says LMAO. Anthony has a girlfriend. All right, Sonal, it did not charge you though, correct, Sonal? It did not charge you, Sonal. Is that correct? I just want to make sure. West Country says, hey, Anthony. Anthony says, tell I'm blushing now. Someone says, Lisa, you being here is a gift. It is. All of you here are a gift. All of you are a beautiful gift in my life. And right here in this chat this morning. Absolutely. Sonal, you are absolutely right. I hope not. Sonal, if it does, please challenge them. Please challenge it if it did go through and they did not come through as members. I thank you so much for that, though. So much. Sonal, you're awesome. Yeah, I hope it did not go through. Is that one hump or two, Toe? Is that one hump or two? That's a good one, too. Is it one lump or two for you? I love that so much. I love you guys. So much fun this morning. King Anthony says, Humpy, Humpy. West Country's, let's just hope it's just a one lump. One lump or two. Shiver says, LOL. Oh my God, you guys are so fun. All right, Sonal, please let me know if this took your money, because I want to try to make that right. I definitely want to make that right. We're gonna get going, guys. Sonal says, Anthony Camel Hump Day. Yeah, it is. It's Hump Day, everybody. That makes it even better. It's Hump Day. Ah, Camel Toe, welcome welcome on Hump Day. uh, King's using emojis. Thank you, King. Shiver, have a blessed day. We're gonna go have some breakfast. We are coming back for Scrabble. Definitely playing Scrabble today because you know how much I love it. Thank you, everybody, for such a great morning. Thank you for such a great stream. Happy Hump Day! Yeah, it's Hump Day. And Camel Toe made their first appearance. Wang Hang says, big up the likes for Miss Daisy, guys and girls. Thank you, Wang Hang Row. Thank you. Lisa says, happy Hump Day. King says, you're welcome, Miss Daisy. Zed says, good night. Zed, go get some sleep, please. Please go sleep. Anthony sending love. Thank you, guys. Thank you for a beautiful morning. 70 likes. Thank you for the love, everyone. Thank you. West Country, thank you so much. Bye, all. Thank you, Daisy May. Thank you, Sonal. Thank you, Sheer Bear. Thank you, everybody. Go about your day. Have a good day. Barry always says, if you see someone without a smile, give them yours. Good advice from Barry. All right. And these you morning people are crazy. Sheer Bear says you mean so much. Oh, thank you, Sheer Bear. You guys mean so much to me. You guys don't even know how much you just make my life better. Yep, I'll see you later, Knuckle. Thank you, Sonal. Thank you, guys. It's tears of joy. It's really tears of joy. It is. Anthony says, cheers, Ed. Get some sleep. Yes. I love you guys. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for the love. We're coming back with Scrabble at 2:00. Check out all these beautiful channels and all these beautiful people in my chat room right now, everyone. Such lovely people. Tears of joy. Absolutely. You guys make me so happy. Just because you love me. And I love you guys too. All right. We will see you this afternoon for puzzles. I'm sorry, for Scrabble. Go about your day. Have a good one. Thank you, everyone. I love you all so, so much. And I will see you all soon. I have to go back outside and stop the stream into the noise. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Anthony. I love you guys. Have a good day, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Bye for now, everyone. I love you guys. Bye, everybody.